Fans filing in for another all-timer live from the sold-out, iconic Masonic Temple in Salt Lake City. This is Fierce Fighting Championship 40, presented by R&R Barbecue. Hi everyone, Blake O'Rulian alongside my right-hand man, Jason Laporte. Eric Iman will be in the booth later on tonight. He has some cornering assignments before he can get on the sticks. But Jason, we keep the trend of heavyweights headlining Kent Mafileo opposite AJ Perez at the top of the bill.
Always excited to see Kent Mafileo on the card tonight. This is a stacked card, Blake.
Unbelievable one. Mafileo scheduled in his 6th main event. No man has ever been atop the marquee more in Fierce history. Perez, an unscathed 4-0 record up to this point as a pro.
Yeah, Kent has said it before. This is his house, and we'll find out tonight if it's still his house after he faces Perez, an undefeated fighter in AJ Perez.
So as Ricky Mamone targets the pro ranks, a new face for the featherweights is up for grabs tonight in Derek Jorgensen and Nico Braswell.
I love this fight. I love Derek Jorgensen. I love Nico Braswell. He's been tearing through the 135 ranks, and I believe he's moving up for this fight, if I'm not correct, right?
He will be moving up. He did have his last fight at 145 pounds as well. Going to be a good one at 145 pounds.
You gotta move it. If you've got a black Porsche, you better move that. If you have a black Ford Explorer, get outside and move that one. If you have a gray Buick, probably got to move that one too. And last,
apologize, a couple of technical difficulties as we're getting the audio up and running. Looks like there is a car in the wrong spot, but lots of questions set to become answers in a matter of moments. The card starts with 6 making the walk for the very first time. Anticipation is high as we send it up to Jackson Hoops for the very first time tonight.
all right, Fierce fans, for those of you tuning into the pay-per-view and for those of you in attendance here inside the sold-out iconic Masonic Temple in Salt Lake City, Utah, welcome to Fierce Fighting Championship. Tonight's event is sanctioned by the Pete Suazo Utah Athletic Commission with Executive Director Scott Bowler in attendance. Dr. Curtis Andrews is also cage-side this evening, along with timekeeper Kobe King and scorekeeper Brittany Jones. The judges for the evening are Dan First, Stephen Farragher, and Dennis McMahon, and the referee in charge when the fights begin will be Tyler Tomlinson. Fierce fans, we are moments away from our first fight of the evening, but at this time we ask that you please rise and remove your caps as we honor our country. We have a flag right up there. With the singing of our national anthem, please welcome extremely talented vocalist, Andrea Woodmansey.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Make some noise for Andrea Woodmansey. Fierce fans, we are now ready for what you all came here to see. 22 mixed martial artists, 11 total fights, including 1 title fight for 1 Fierce Fighting Championship evening. So Fierce fans, let the fighters in the back know that you are here. Put your hands together and make some Kind. Your donations to Be Fierce, Be Kind will help pay for tuition, training gear, and athletic equipment for the youth here in Utah so they can train at verified and established MMA and jiu-jitsu schools. Donate today to help spread awareness of our anti-bullying campaign at Be Fierce, Be Kind. Fierce fans, make some noise and welcome our very first 2 fighters to the stage, Tony Shirley and then Josh Dankers.
One of 7 to do it for the first time tonight is Tony Shirley. Jason, he's backed by a karate base in his childhood, got back into it in Ogden over a year ago.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this fight. Anthony Shirley making his debut. I love watching these debuters step in the ring, leaving it all on the line, seeing what all their training is leading up to this moment right now. We'll see what Anthony Shirley can bring.
Tony Shirley lost 55 pounds for this camp leading into it. Very, very impressive considering everything he's had to do just to get here.
And you know I love, with my background, I love seeing when these fighters put in the time, put in the effort, and lose the weight to make weight. Very impressive. I already like this guy.
Out of World Martial Arts, formerly known as Destination Martial Arts in Ogden, Utah. We've had one competitor from their gym in the past, Marco Gomez, a training partner of Shirley. His teammate Brian Morales also makes the walk next.
Yeah, I actually saw him doing backflips in the cage when I walked into the venue today.
Tony Shirley, again, out of Ogden, Utah. Well studied up on the wrestling abilities of his opponent, Josh Dankers. Sprawls have been at the top of his mind during this camp. Well studied up on the wrestling. Second crack of the curtain tonight. Enter Josh Dankers. Jason, he says he sees MMA as an opportunity to expand his arsenal after many years in wrestling rooms. We'll see where it all adds up in the amateur debut.
Well, he looks ready. He looks prepared. He's in phenomenal shape. And as I just mentioned, when Shirley was walking in there, he was doing backflips when I was walking into the venue today. So this kid is clearly very athletic.
Josh Dankers' strength and conditioning will likely be a welcomed add-on to his game. Moves a lot of weight in the gym. Jason, you'll appreciate this. As of February, he can bench 245, squats 315, deadlifts 455.
Wow, that is impressive. John Dankers, man, this is very impressive. Little wrestling versus stand-up bout in our first fight of the night.
Started over at Team Lionheart in November of last year. Already made leaps and bounds from what we have seen online. All right, first of 11 matchups meet at middleweight. Tony Shirley plays senior at 25 years old. The 2-inch edge in height also flies by way of the Utah fighter. Dankers well under the middleweight threshold at 182 pounds as that first fight feeling hits both of these, making their debuts. All right, mic in hand, here's hopes.
Fierce fans, our first fight of the evening is brought to you by Be Fierce, Be Kind. Your donations to Be Fierce, Be Kind will raise awareness for our anti-bullying campaign. This fight is an amateur middleweight bout scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds, and when the fight begins, the referee in charge will be Tyler Tomlinson. Introducing the first fighter, fighting out of the blue corner. Making his amateur debut, he stands 6 feet 2 inches tall and weighed in at 185 1/2 pounds. Fighting out of World Martial Arts, hailing from Centerville, Utah. Fierce fans, make some noise and welcome Tony Shirley. And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, also making his amateur debut, he stands 6 feet tall and weighed in at 182 pounds. Fighting out of Team Lionheart MMA, hailing from Idaho Falls, Idaho. Fierce fans, make some noise for Josh Dankers.
Home game feel for both on this one. Tony Shirley in the blue, alongside Josh Dankers in the red gloves. Fierce Fighting Championship would like to spotlight all those who contribute to Be Fierce, Be Kind, providing youth access to martial arts training all across the state. On behalf of Fierce Fighting Championship, we thank you for your lasting contribution. Tyler Tomlinson all 10 assignments will fall to him here tonight. Excited to have the Utah veteran referee as the third man in the cage.
Here we go.
Dankers immediately goes into what was planned, grappling to start off the first 10 seconds of this one, Jason.
Yeah, I think Shirley was looking for a glove touch, and Denker said, no, we're just going to jump right on you and take you down.
Dankers immediately starts to bulldoze Shirley, already in a world of trouble just 20 seconds into this. Trying to wrap up that neck. Seems to be about dead to rights.
Yeah, Shirley doing the right things. Denker's a little high and off to the side now.
Again, Josh Dankers relatively new to the world of MMA. Tony Shirley able to survive that one, but met with an onslaught of offense.
Yeah, just overwhelmed.
Able to maintain position though, Jason.
Yeah, he's maintaining a position, but Shirley doing a good job fighting out of that position. Look at that. Shirley doing the right things, keeping him off his neck, fighting the hands.
Tony Shirley told me since he was in junior high, he's wanted to compete in an MMA setting. Get all it's worth for right now as Dankers bludgers up top with a couple more. Tony Shirley answers back as well, Jason.
Shirley can take a shot because he ate 2 or 3 big shots from Dankers, and now he's coming back.
Crowd loving this one early. Dankers 2 for 2 on takedowns.
Impressed with the chin and the composure of Shirley, and compressed with Dankers with keeping this pressure on. Shirley fighting his way to his feet again.
Athletic ability is through the roof for Josh Dankers, but Tony Shirley has been able to turn the tides a couple of times already. Just about a minute to go, round 1 of a possible 3. Dankers with some weighty shots. Tony Shirley 8-1 answered right back, Jason.
Shirley's throwing shots back. He is not giving up in this fight. He's breathing pretty heavy right now. Both. Oh, nice one right to the chin, Dankers.
Shirley brought back by that one. Dankers trying to close this out inside 1.
Shirley's got his mouthpiece hanging out, and he is throwing blow. Oh, big knee to the body by Shirley.
Tony Shirley now trying to wrap together some sort of a submission. Dankers able to evade and moved him out.
This has been nonstop, Blake.
There it is! Josh Dankers at his suffocating best in the amateur debut.
There's the backflip I was talking about, Blake.
Unbelievable performance by both, but Josh Dankers gets it done to move to 1-0. Jason, sensational.
We got another prospect on our hands in Mr. Dankers. That was impressive. He's not breathing heavy. He's in great shape. He kept pressure on for all 3 minutes on his debut. That's impressive.
Both guys, cardiovascular was tested because it was all action like you talked about.
It was all action. And look, you got to give Shirley credit. Debut, I think he was expecting the glove touch in the beginning, and Dankers went right for the takedown. Kind of overwhelming. Shirley fought back, got up to his feet, landed a couple shots, but just the pressure from Dankers, just too much for Shirley tonight.
Wrestled at Thunder Ridge High School back in the day, showed a lot of grappling prowess in this one, but it was the strikes that led to so much of his offense.
Overwhelming strikes, overwhelming. Back in the day, isn't the kid only like 20 years old, Blake?
20 years old, so a couple of years ago, I would say, as Josh Dankers gets a big one here tonight. We got a lot of young fighters on this card. Josh Dankers, one of the younger ones, but we'll get plenty more into that later on. See Tony Shirley in the background of this one. Told me, win or lose, there's plans of another fight in the future. Excited to see him back. He showed a lot there.
Yeah, he did show a lot. He showed a lot of heart. He didn't give up. I mean, he was under a lot of pressure, ate a lot of big shots. You can see he's out of breath, but hey, there was no quit in Anthony Shirley tonight, Tony Shirley tonight.
No quitting either, as Tyler Tomlinson will corral the 2 middleweights. We'll make it official with Jackson Post.
Fierce fans, referee Tyler Tomlinson has called a stop to this contest at 2 minutes 47 seconds of the very first round, declaring the winner by tap out due to strikes, Josh Dankers!
All right, Derek Jorgensen and Nico Broswell contest for the featherweight strap later on tonight. We'll get a sneak peek into what to look forward to in that one. A Deadeye debut back in February. The question is, can he continue that trend in 2025? Derek Jorgensen, 2 in a row on the hottest streak of his amateur career. Very interested to see what the results render for this Willow fighter.
This is going to be a good fight tonight.
Nico Broswell pulls off the shutout in the sophomore slate.
Mark Nico Broswell's name on list of prospects to watch.
We're going to see some fireworks tonight with this fight.
Put your hands together and make some noise!
Big time win for Josh Dankers in the amateur debut. We've got 7 debuters here tonight. The first 2 have already made the walk, but a pair more are about prime to do so as well. Brian Morales, Henry Gonzalez. We do want to know, we have the incorrect graphic up right now. Julian Ruiz alongside Benjamin Hollier. That fight was canceled just a couple of days ago on Wednesday night. Earlier today at 5:15, Tiago Angelon has backed out of his fight versus Teague Vigil. That fight is no longer happening. We are down to 10 fights on this total card, Jason.
2 fights I was very much looking forward to seeing tonight. Looking to see if Julian Ruiz could get back in the win column after a tough loss in his last fight. And really looking forward to Tiago and Teague Vigil, who always brings it every time he steps into the fierce cage.
We'll get a little bit more into the action. A can't miss one at welterweight. Henry Gonzalez, Brian Morales. Let's bring him out.
Fierce fans, our next fight of the evening is sponsored by Bad Bevs, a brand new handcrafted beverage and catering company that settles for nothing but the best and is here tonight. Be sure to follow Bad Bevs on Instagram, @BadBevs. Fierce fans, make some noise and welcome Brian Morales and then Henry Gonzalez to the cage.
All right, first rep for Brian Morales commences at the iconic Masonic Temple. Jason, about a year of training up to this point, prepping for tonight. More debut talent going toe-to-toe in this one.
Yeah, another debut, a quick turnaround for the World Martial Arts corner guys, making a quick turnaround here. Once again, I love seeing the debut fighters. I love seeing them put in the time in the training room, and let's see what it's all about tonight. Let's see what Morales can bring.
Chris Morris heads the corner for the Ogden fighter. Also, like we mentioned with Tony Shirley, a friend of Marco Gomez who fought Isaac Libert at Fierce Challenger Series 11 in Price, Utah last year. He was inspired by him and realigned his focus for this debut.
I like it. I love it. I love seeing it.
Similar to Tony Shirley, lost 50 pounds for this camp. Brian Morales up and ready to make his amateur debut. Well, turning away from the teen years will be memorable as we wish Henry Gonzalez a happy birthday and a warm welcome to the cage. Jason, plenty of reps in the room and sturdily backed by years of grappling.
Yeah, not a bad place to spend your birthday, inside the cage. I love it. And he's got a little bit of experience. He's got some grappling experience. And you kind of consider him a debut? I guess you do, because he's debuting in the cage brand new, but
Henry Gonzalez competed in a local grappling tournament in January, came away with a 5-1 record and a gold medal. After feeling the thrill of competition again, he was locked in on an MMA camp.
Yeah, I think that helps these guys these wrestlers, these grapplers, these guys that have been in front of people, that have competed in front of people before. I think that helps get a little bit of the jitters out, but you know, we're going to find out as soon as that cage door closes.
Said he was seeking a heightened emotional state coming into the cage. With that, let's go ahead and look at the intangibles. Henry Gonzalez alongside Brian Morales. Gonzalez holds the slight height advantage at 6 feet, stalemated on the scale at 168.5 pounds, as both make that inaugural walk tonight. All right, now for the intros, here's host.
Fierce fans, this fight is sponsored by Bad Bevs, This fight is an amateur welterweight bout scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. And when the fights begin, the referee in charge will be Tyler Tomlinson. Introducing the first fighter, fighting out of the blue corner, making his amateur debut. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall and weighing in at 168 1/2 pounds. Fighting out of World Martial Arts, hailing from Ogden, Utah. Fierce fans, make some noise for Brian Morales! And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, also making his amateur debut. He stands 6 feet tall and weighing in at 168 1/2 pounds. Fighting out of Akima Jiu-Jitsu and MMA, hailing from Provo, Utah. Fierce fans, make some noise for Henry Gonzalez!
A memorable 20th birthday for Henry Gonzalez, strapped in the red gloves. Brian Morales, the dance partner, in the blue gloves. This amateur welterweight bout is brought to you by Bad Bevs, handcrafted drinks proudly serving the Fierce fandom. Bad Bevs, an official sponsor of Fierce FC. Jason, you had some Bad Bevs earlier today.
I did have some Bad Bevs, and it was very delicious. Leslie hooked it up for me. Go check out Bad Bevs if you're here at the fights.
Always providing drinks in the concourse here, live at the Masonic Temple. A sellout crowd here. Sold out about an hour before doors opened. First time in 5 events here for us at Fierce Fighting Championship. Morales opens up with a lightning fast leg kick. Gonzalez gets it done on the feet, able to pressure inside. Mentioned his tenacious grappling, looking to get it going right now as Morales counters back with a knee.
A little bit of a low blow there.
Tyler Tomlinson giving a quick stern warning. I think I heard it through the cans, Jason, saying can't pull the face in towards a knee, whether it targets towards the chest or the midsection at all. Can't be pulling in the head. That is the stern warning by the veteran official.
Gonzalez a little excited there. He looks very calm. 20 years old.
Born April 11th, 2005. Nice shot to the body, traded back and forth between the two at 170. Gonzalez trying to find the mat, but Morales staying upright.
You can see that grappling experience. Gets the body lock going right for a takedown. A big slam by Gonzalez.
2 of his wins at that grappling tournament we were talking about were won by staggering scores of 22-0 and 19-0. But right now, looking to close it up with a rear naked choke, Jason.
Yeah, Morales doing the right things, fighting the hands. He's got to fight the choke hand there.
Morales, 1 year of training, backs him here tonight. Passing the test right now, but in close quarters in the red zone.
Yeah, he made a mistake there. He was fighting the wrong hand there. He's fighting the outside hand versus the choke hand there. Got him in a little trouble. He's doing the right thing, circling in.
Gonzalez trying to flatten out. Morales able to get his base back.
This is where that grappling experience will come in handy. Gonzalez has been here before. And that might be... Oh.
Fighting the gloves well is the World Martial Arts fighter. About 45 seconds to survive before we see stools.
Good job from Morales, keeping composed, not letting Gonzalez get that rear naked choke in, but now he's eating some shots.
About 30 seconds as Gonzalez realigns that rear naked choke.
You can hear Gonzalez's corner telling him they want him to go palm to palm. Morales is doing the right thing. He's changing the angles, making it hard for Gonzalez to get under the chin there.
10-second clapper goes. Lots of energy expenditure for the Agima fighter. We'll see how the second frame goes, but Brian Morales able to survive.
Yeah, he definitely survived. Gonzalez showing his grappling experience in that first round.
All right, well, we are going to debut a microphone in the corner of Agima We got our man Aiden manning the camera. We'll toss it over to them to see what Dana Ristazabal and Agima are saying. Calling out a couple of different combinations there, Jason. How was that?
That was pretty cool. I like hearing that.
Great work as always by the Agima fight team.
I love the new technology, Blake. I like getting an inside look there of what the fighters are hearing and what the coaching they're getting.
Henry Gonzalez, first of 6 Agima fighters on this card, opens up with a leg kick. Yeah, Jason, I was told about it just a couple of hours ago, and so we prepped and primed for it as Gonzalez throws a couple upstairs.
You know, I talked a lot about Gonzalez's grappling in that first round, but his striking was pretty good too. And now, as I say that, he eats a couple big shots from Morales.
Morales, a couple of wild, wide strikes, but Gonzalez able to bring it back to his home.
If I'm Morales, I'm doing everything I can to get Gonzalez off of me. He needs to get back to his feet.
Lots of offense thrown by Morales.
Looks like he's seeking in that head and arm choke there.
But that put Gonzalez right where he wanted to be. Head and arm seems to be steaming up. Hearing from the corner of Gonzalez that he's a little bit too high, trying to center himself right now, Jason, but Morales not a stagnant target.
Great job for Morales. He's been paying attention in grappling class. This is not fun having somebody mounting you, full mount, throwing punches on you. Not that I know how the punches feel, but the grappling aspect of it is not fun having somebody laying on top of you like this.
Gonzalez wrestled 2 years in high school at Timpview, competed in the state tournament his senior season, began at Agima in May of 2023. And if I'm doing the math correctly, right around the time in which he was graduating.
Yeah. And this is exhausting for Morales as he keeps trying to bridge out of this. He's using a lot of energy down there on the bottom. Morales is, and Gonzalez just cooking him at this moment. He's working for that head and arm choke.
South of 60 seconds to go here, round 2. And Jason, if we do go to a round 3, safe to say Morales likely would need a finish.
I would think he would need a finish. Gonzalez, as of right now, has been pretty dominant. If it keeps going this way, I could see this being a 10-8 round.
Lots of control time accumulated. It was in the first 30 seconds that Gonzalez was able to take this one to the ground. They haven't left since.
Yeah, not a lot of damage from Gonzalez. It looks like he's looking for a submission, but Morales is making it hard for him.
They've moved quite a bit through the cage, but Gonzalez now closing out the round with a couple of pounding shots. Third and final coming up. Jason, we got a good one on hand. Henry Gonzalez looking good in the debut.
Yeah, he looks great in the debut, and I touched on it a little bit in that second round. He's really blending in his striking with his grappling. He's not just a grappler. We kind of touched on him just being a grappler, but he's been mixed in the striking to get to the takedown, to get the fight to the ground.
Hearing from Chris Morris over in their corner. Jason, what are you hearing?
I liked what Chris is saying. You got to the kicks are, I can't say it on air right now, but the kicks are messing him up, and you got to keep your distance. And then he made
Morales repeat back to him, hey, what do you need to do? I need to keep my distance and I need to land some kicks. So he's paying attention. He's listening to his corner. It's just Gonzalez so far has been blending everything together beautifully tonight.
Third and final round here. Tyler Tomlinson, the third man in the cage. Again, all 10 assignments will fall to him. Top of the round brought to you by Bad Bevs. Handcrafted drinks made for a great experience here at the sold-out Masonic Temple.
Plant-based energy drinks, might I add, Blake.
I have not heard that before.
No jitters, no headaches. Pure energy tonight.
Pure energy from those two inside, as well as Gonzalez launches one.
Yeah, nice body kick by Morales. He's doing a good job keeping the distance, but he's got to be careful because you know Gonzalez is going to shoot for that takedown.
Might be hard to see from the vantage point of the pay-per-view, but Morales breathing deeply out of the mouth right now, Jason. Seems to be gassed, but still has pop on his shots.
Yeah, he's still coming forward. He's landed about 2 or 3 leg kicks, and that's got the attention of Gonzalez in this round.
I'm not sure if it made it through the audio, but we did hear in round number 2, Dana Ristizabal in the corner of Henry Gonzalez saying, this isn't a grappling match. You've got to throw strikes, specifically when he was in that ground and pound position. Seen a little bit more striking on the feet. We'll see if he can do so if he mats the Ogden fighter once again.
Yeah, Gonzalez breathing really heavy this third round too, and he's exerted a lot of energy. Both fighters breathing heavily in this third round.
Just about the halfway point here of our final round. Second fight here, live in Salt Lake City. Blake O'Ruling alongside Jason Laporte. Eric Iman will be joining us later on tonight.
Morales listened to his corner. He's keeping the distance, avoided the takedown. He's been landing shots this third round.
Lots of sauce on that one from Morales. Gonzalez answers back with his own. Gonzalez's hands a little bit low, but initiates some grappling. Morales now wraps the neck.
Morales. If I'm Morales, I'm breaking free from this. I don't know if I want to stay there with Gonzalez. Boom, and now they're trading shots.
Couple clocked on the chin for both. Fans on their feet between these two at 170 pounds.
And now Morales coming back hurting Gonzalez. A great third round. Fans are on their feet. Morales has quite the crowd here tonight, too.
Morales was pushed back, a big smile from Gonzalez. 10 ticks to decide it.
We'll see another round, Blake.
Unfortunately, no championship rounds, but we got a good one. We promised a great card. It starts off with these two in the second fight of the night, going the distance, all out in terms of the output.
Yeah, that was a great third round. Total dominance up until that point by Gonzalez. We'll see what the judges think.
It looked as though Morales was seeking some sort of a finish there. We talked about it, that he probably would need one, but it's going to be a toss-up. There was back and forth in there, a lot of parity.
Yeah, a lot of parity.
Henry Gonzalez speaking alongside Court McGee. Seems to be happy with the performance, but lots to learn and a lot to improve on in the next time.
This is what it's all about. Debuters, you're testing yourself, you're finding out your weaknesses, finding out what to work on in the gym next week.
Henry Gonzalez, quick embrace alongside the WMA guys, putting their gym more so on the map. Tony Shirley had a good showing for as long as that one lasted. He goes the distance versus a very game guy out of the biggest gym in the state.
Oh yeah, World Martial Arts, they've been around for a minute. I know I did the shirts for Chris a few years ago.
We will see how things fare. Jackson Hoops collecting the data. But it'll be interesting to see where this one falls. Coming up next, Hunter Bound and Gabriel Urias. That's a huge one at flyweight. Lots of people here in favor for both.
Yeah, that's gonna be a fun fight.
All right, some hot scorecards in hand. One of these guys gets their hand raised for the first time. We'll find out with Jackson Hoops.
Fierce fans, after 3 incredible rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. The judges score this contest 29-28, 29-27, and 29-28, declaring the winner by unanimous decision, Henry Gonzalez!
All right, short message from our friends over at FST Filtration. When we come back, Hunter Bound and Gabriel Urias make the walk.
FST. Who is FST Filtration? What is FST Filtration? You see, FST is more than a filter company just trying to be cool. FST is a solution-based company in the heart of Utah, where hard work is embedded in its roots, and providing superior indoor air quality is our mission. FST has risen to the challenges that everyday people face. As new challenges present themselves, we too shall rise to the occasion. Manufacturing is the backbone of America, and our employees are the backbone of FST. So when choosing your next filter for your home or building, don't choose any filter. Choose FST. Small business, family owned, since 2001.
Scan the QR code on your screen right now for access to Fierce FC's digital program. Get the inside scoop on everyone set to make the walk, as well as additional information on future shows.
We got some more cars, a white Lexus, blue Expedition, white Porsche, black Ford Explorer.
So we move all the way down to 125 pounds. Gabriel Urias and Hunter Bound, but Henry Gonzalez getting the job done. A talent out of Agema. Big time debut win for him.
Yeah, debut win on his birthday. Looked good. Blended the striking with the grappling in there. I'm really impressed with the kid.
20 years old, very high ceiling for him.
Yeah, I agree.
Lots going on in terms of the parking lot situation. Jackson Hoops has to play hero here in the center of the cage with that. He is the man with the biggest microphone here tonight live in Salt Lake City. We'll kick it over to him to get started at flyweight.
Fierce fans, our next fight of the evening is sponsored by Pat's Media Productions. They put Fierce Fighting Championship into the living rooms of Fierce fans everywhere. Pat's Media Productions, on behalf of the fighters and fans everywhere, we thank you. Fierce fans, make some noise and welcome Hunter Bound and then Gabriel Urias to the cage.
All right, another new name out of Tooele Martial Arts Academy. Enter Hunter Bound. Jason, some successful debuting talent comes out of TMAA. 3-1 for the first timers last year out of that gym. Hunter Bound looks to set the bar again here tonight.
Blake, you know I love my Tooele Martial Arts Academy guys. You know I love them. I got to give my traditional shout out to Brandon in Tennessee. I know you're watching, man. Listen, these guys always bring it from Tooele. They're always prepared. This kid looks ready. He looks prepared. He looks ready. I know Keith will have him ready. This is a very exciting fight.
Bound always loved combat sports, and for him it was not a matter of if, but when he would compete. That time is now for the Tooele flyweight. Jason, you've been shouting out your friend Brandon for nearly 30 shows together you and I have had. Who is he and how do you know him?
So he was one of the coaches out there with Keith for Tooele Martial Arts Academy, and I know they was really close. Him and his wife moved out to Tennessee, remodeled the house, and I know he's really close. I know the community really love those guys, and I know he always watches, so I always like to give him a shout out.
Bound, a 3-time state placing wrestler at Sky Ridge and Cypress High School. Podium twice during his high school career, between 106 and 113 pounds.
And we've seen those guys that have that wrestling background, they have that experience. They've been in the big lights before, not in the cage, but they have that experience of fighting in front of a crowd. And he's got quite the pop from the crowd here tonight.
youngest fighter fired up and slated to fight tonight falls to Gabriel Urias. Jason, he's waxed with confidence headed into the debut, told me he sees no other outcome outside of a win tonight.
And he came running out of the curtains through this walkout. He's excited. This is a great matchup, Blake. Buckle your seatbelts. 2 125ers. This is going to be a great fight.
Palpable intensity between these two debuters. Lots of fun to be had at flyweight. They were right in each other's faces, Jason.
Oh, you can see the tension. Both fighters they're both guys are locked in. They're ready to go. This is once again, great matchup.
Gabriel Urias out of Lionheart MMA in Idaho Falls took a kickboxing bout at 15 years old and lost by a couple of points, but said he's always wanted to take an MMA fight and is ready for the task at hand.
Hey, what else is there to do up in Idaho but fight? That wasn't a dig to my Idaho fans. Don't come at me.
Gabriel Urias, one of 3 Lionheart MMA fighters making the walk tonight. Been training on and off for 4 years, and now the biggest test ahead.
Yeah, we're gonna see it once again. Debuters bringing it in.
Let's get a live look at these two side by side. Urias, still a teenager, just 19. Bound stands the taller man at 5'6". No issues on the scale for either party as well. Both about to do it for the very first time. To get you primed for it, here's Jackson.
Fight is sponsored by Pat's Media Productions. This fight is an amateur flyweight bout scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. And when the fight begins, the referee in charge will be Tyler Tomlinson. Introducing the first fighter, fighting out of the blue corner, making his amateur debut. He stands 5 feet 6 inches tall and weighing in at 125 pounds. Fighting out of Tooele Martial Arts Academy, hailing from Ophir, Utah. Fierce fans, make some noise for Hunter Bound! And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, also making his amateur debut. He stands 5 feet 4 inches tall and weighing in at 125 1/2 pounds. Fighting out of Team Lionheart MMA, hailing from Idaho Falls, Idaho. Fierce fans, make some noise for Gabriel "Too Slick" Urias.
Gabriel Urias sporting the red gloves in the debut. Hunter Bound, first time for him as well in the blue. This amateur flyweight bout is brought to you by Pat's Media, providing a top-tier broadcast for whatever you're looking to showcase. Pat's Media, an official sponsor of Fierce FC.
Both fighters getting a pop from the crowd. The Idaho crowd has brought it tonight. I better be careful walking out to my car.
Hopefully he doesn't get towed.
Nope, I parked in the right spot tonight.
No stagnant targets on either side early. Urias opens up with a combination. Couple of nice knees thrown by the Idaho fighter as well, Jason.
Yeah, he looks very well composed. He's thrown some nice head kick by Bound.
Bound enters in on a second takedown attempt. That one unable to be successful. Urias reverses the position and now in the driver's seat.
And Urias showing his strength. Bound circling back in, and now he's in. Urias is full guard. I don't know if I can keep up with the action. Looks like Urias is going for an arm lock.
Bound, some potent pressure. Finds his way over to the top. Scrambles on scrambles right now, Jason.
I don't know if I can keep up with this.
You got your blue belt. This is a big test for you.
It is a big test for me. Urias looks, nice inside leg kick and a nice overhand by Urias. He looks very well composed. Sorry about that, Blake.
Cracks on the chin and a nice slip as well. Urias back up to his feet. Bound, trying to bring it back to the floor.
If this first minute and a half is any indication, Urias very well rounded. Bound looking like he wants to get to the fight to the ground, and now he's on top.
Again, like we talked about, 3-time state placing wrestler for Bound. Urias took that kickboxing bout about 4 years ago. Right now on bottom is the Lionheart fighter.
And he's searching for an arm again. He's got it. He's got an arm locked up.
Graphic seems to be down, but it is round 1 of a possible 3 here. About 1:10 to go. As it's been all action, able to slow it down just a little bit with the wrestling of Hunter Bound. Chance to catch your breath, Jason.
Yeah, Urias doing a good job tying him up, and it looks like he's trying to isolate an arm and possibly go for maybe a triangle or an arm lock. And there it is.
Searching now for a submission. Urias able to cause a transition, but Bound right back into the face.
Oh, heavy shots from Bound, and now the crowd is on their feet. Both fighters exchanging shots. Bound is scrappy from the bottom. Look at him start throwing up a triangle, and he's going for that arm lock again. Great submission attempts from Urias. You're right. Did I say his name right, Blake?
Urias.
Urias. All right, there we go.
Final seconds, round 1. Between Gabriel Urias and Hunter Bound. Lots of fans here in support of both sides. They're going to get a second round, Jason.
Yeah, I want to see it. I'm ready. Let's go. Let's get this second round going. That was a great back and forth round, Blake.
Urias spent a good majority of it on bottom, but when he was on top, he was the one doing a lot of the offense.
Yeah, I feel like, I'm not a judge, but I feel like Urias was the one landing the harder shots. Bound definitely had his moments, but a great back and forth first round. Tough one to judge.
All right, over in the corner of Hunter Bound. We'll give it to them.
When you get stuck in that triangle and you're postured all the way up, just start coming up here like this. Get your arm out of it. Okay? You're in the exchanges, so keep circling, keep painting. Okay? Knee taps, uppercuts, hooks, everything. You're taking them down. Okay? It's good.
Stay out of his guard. Okay?
When you get him on the ground,
So we hear that stay out of his guard, Jason.
You could tell Urias is very dangerous. He was isolating an arm every time he had Bound in his guard. He was isolating the arm and looking for some type of submission, and you saw him lock in that triangle choke that maybe if he would have had another 30 to 45 seconds, might have been able to finish that.
Looks like we have a little bit of water slippage inside the cage. Thank you to our commission member for being able to dry all that up before we kick off the second round. Reading a little bit of body language, we saw Urias' corner talking about the striking. One wants to keep it standing, one wants to move it to the mat. We'll see how things go as we kick off round 2.
Urias likes that little inside leg kick. That's about the third time he's thrown that this fight.
Nice chiming shot lands for Urias, now trying to create a tripping sequence. Wound everything into that one, Jason.
Yeah, it looks like Bound's trying to set up the takedown, but right now Urias seems to be one step ahead. Both fighters trading shots there.
Oohs and ahs on both sides of this one. Jason, it is so fun when this place got a lot of people. Bound, buckled down, but able to find it back to the mat.
It goes back to that wrestling. He ate a big shot, was stunned, and went right for the takedown.
Urias showing some crisp striking right now, Jason.
Very crisp striking. We'll see if Bound will take his corner advice. They do not want him in his guard. And here he goes again. There it is. He went right into that triangle, and he got out of it.
Nice posturing by the Tooele fighter. Urias going back to a familiar spot that we found him in the back half of round number 1.
That was a nice transition. The headquarters guard right into full mount by Bound.
Bound trying to grapevine those legs, lessen any movement that could be possible by the Lionheart fighter.
Urias did a good job from the bottom in that first round, and now in the second round, Bound in control in the corner, listening to the instruction to Keith and Boomer.
Not a lot of big strikes, more so tallying up control time, but also attacking the body, Jason.
Yeah, Urias doing a good job staying safe, not taking any damage, but right now a lot of control time for Bound. He ate a big shot before that takedown too, Blake.
Instinctively got back to his bread and butter, and right now serving him well as we close in on the final 40 seconds of round number 2.
If I'm Bound, I want to finish this round with some shots.
Bound, one of 2 fighters out of Tooele Martial Arts Academy tonight. His teammate Derek Jorgensen will be making the walk later for the amateur featherweight title alongside Nico Broswell.
Buckle up for that fight.
Good one to start the main card alongside 3 professional bouts. So getting a little bit of deja vu right now, Jason. First round, lots of success on the feet for Urias. When Hunter Bound is able to take it to the ground, that's where he wants to be at all times.
Yeah, you could see the dominance once he got that fight, and once he got into that full mount position. Urias, though, looking sharp on his feet early in that round. I got a 1-1 going into the third round, Blake.
We've got the replay presented by R&R Barbecue of the near knockdown that led in to the double leg that kept Hunter Bound in control time for the rest of it. We'll see. It's a little bit of a delayed start for this, but I have been told that we do have it, so we'll go over to that. But Jason, met by the cage was Hunter Bound.
And right after a good counter from Bound, then he just got countered from Urias, and then once he got on top. Now, how does this look from the judges? Because it looked like he had that split second, but then he shoots for the takedown. I mean, he did take a little bit of damage there, but he got right into the mount and was dominated the rest of that round. Very interesting third round coming up.
Urias attentive, very, very interesting for minutes 6 through 9. Battered up a bit is Bound. As the top of round 3 is brought to you by our friends over at Pat's Media, providing you this broadcast and anything else you are looking to showcase. 3 minutes to decide this one at 125 pounds. Lots of people here for them. We see why. As Bound swings for the fences on that one, and Urias counters effectively.
He set that up beautifully. Bound was looking for that, and there he goes, isolating an arm again. This must be his move in the gym.
No regard for the takedown as Bound trying to get himself back to a mounted position, possibly stay there for the remainder of the fight. But Urias staying active on bottom.
He's staying very active on the bottom, looking for a sweep, making connections to the legs. He needs to push away and try to get to his feet now, because once Bound gets on top, he's right into mount position where we were for most of that second round.
Bound slashes over to the mount. Familiar territory for him. 2 minutes and about 5 seconds to work, as he might be able to cruise, but effective grappling, effective striking. Gabriel Urias had a lot of big moments.
He did have a lot of big moments. I'm real curious of how the judges are going to see that second round. With the damage was landed by Urias, but the control time and Bound did have his moments for the majority of that second round. And once again, we're right back in that position.
Urias attempting to get back up to his feet. Bound continuing to transition effectively. Not his first rodeo in terms of the grappling department.
Not his first rodeo at all. Bound doing a good job pushing the legs. Urias very active though from the bottom, like you said, Blake. Now he's getting a scolding from Tyler, who's grabbing the fence there, it looked like.
Quick timeout by Tyler Tomlinson. We'll see if we can see it again, but we see that Tyler Tomlinson did say he was grabbing the fence. Might not have an angle of it, that's okay, but stern warning on the side of Hunter Bound.
Very stern warning. Tyler doesn't mess around. I'd not make Tyler mad. Black belt in jiu-jitsu, I believe. This just makes this round even more interesting, Blake, because now we're back on the feet.
Not sure if there's going to be a point taken away. Tyler Tomlinson now speaking with Urias. One of the sternest warnings I've ever seen.
That was a pretty stern warning by Mr. Tomlinson. I'm not going to argue with him.
Nor would I.
But now we're back on the feet, where Urias has had success.
Bound bit down on that one in that southpaw stance. A couple of feints as well as Urias goes back to the well with that inside leg kick. Urias lost his footing for just a second there. Got a grimace, has 35 seconds to survive, but didn't look comfortable, Jason.
Did not look comfortable. He grimaced there. I didn't quite see what happened there. Effective wrestling from Bound, taking control in these last 2 rounds.
Back to where he's been most effective throughout the fight. Urias continues to invert and find ways to keep Bound in his guard. As it looks like for a second straight, we'll see scorecards.
Yes, we will. got to give it to Bound. He's not letting this fight end on the feet. He's still taking it to Urias. Great fight.
Fans got their money's worth on that one. A full 9 minutes of action. Gabriel Urias, lots of time spent on the feet in which he was effective. Hunter Bound, although able to put his game plan into action as well with a lot of grappling. We'll see what happens, Jason.
Yeah, Urias,
very interested.
Yeah, Urias had some moments even on the ground, especially in that first round. There were a lot of submission attempts in that first round.
A little bit of a mouse underneath the left eye. He thinks he's gotten it done as he gets his gloves off. But what a way to start off the amateur career.
My heart is still racing.
So Henry Gonzalez, Brian Morales goes to a decision. Gabriel Urias and Hunter Bound will as well. 3 fights in, 3 are still to come as we continue on here at Fierce Fighting Championship 40. Such a fun card. Unfortunate, though, with that drop-off of T. Vigil and Tiago Angelon. But the fans sure love their Tooele fighter as Hunter Bound, ecstatic after that debut showing. All right, some hot scorecards handled by Jackson Hoops. He gives us the nod. That means he's ready to go. We'll kick it to him.
Fierce fans, after 3 incredible rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. All 3 judges scored this contest 29-28, declaring the winner by unanimous decision, Hunter Bound!
Hunter Bound gets it done. Quick timeout for a message from Performance Honda Bountiful. We'll be back with more Fierce Fighting Championship 40 live from Salt Lake City.
Hi, I'm Jason Laporte, Fierce Fighting Championship commentator and General Sales Manager at Performance Honda in Bountiful. We are the fastest growing Honda dealership in the state, and we have one of the largest certified pre-owned inventories in the state of Utah. Our service department has master technicians with over 100 years experience collectively.
Bienvenidos a Performance Honda Bountiful, donde los atendemos en español y les ponemos una sonrisa todos los días.
Visit us at 2215 South 500 West or performancehondabountiful.com.
Back live in Salt Lake City, Hunter Bound able to get the nod from the judges. Jason, your thoughts on the scorecards?
I thought they were right. I mean, like I said, I'm not a judge. I've studied it a lot, obviously, though, and I had it 29-28 for Bound. I thought he did enough with the wrestling and the control time, but Urias, nothing to hang his head about. That kid's got a bright future ahead of him. He'll get back in the gym, work on a few things. I have a feeling we'll see him back in the cage.
Hunter Bound spending a little bit more time in the cage, getting so much love from this crowd. It was fun to see him take off the training wheels. Got more announcements from our man, Jackson Hoops. But we will jump over to 190 pounds, a catchweight bout between Taylor Copeland and Vincent Vanisi. To get you primed for it is the man in the blue suit.
Fierce fans, our next fight is sponsored by Larclean. For your affordable, sustainable, and ecological cleaning supplies, use promo code Fierce Fighting Chip. Sorry, that's promo code FFC10. That is promo code FFC10. A cleaner home for a cleaner earth starts here with Larclean. Fierce fans, make some noise and welcome Vincent Vanisi and then Taylor Copeland to the cage.
All right, sprinting out to the stage, first time fighting in Salt Lake in 3 years is Vincent Vanisi. Jason, he's fallen short in 4 straight, but has had shining moments in all of them.
Yeah, he's had his moments. He's training out of the right gym, one-hit MMA. He'll be ready tonight. And another fighter came running out to the cage. during his walk-in. I love it. Everybody's ready to fight tonight, Blake.
Back-to-back decisions. You got to think that they're waiting their stage and they're hoping, when is this fight going to end? I want to go make the walk.
Yeah.
Vincent Vanisi was winning the fight back in November until a submission got flipped on him versus Santiago Azucar. But Jason, he's got flush movement on the defensive front. He mixes up the landing zones well. He has been a veteran of this game, made his amateur debut way back in 2019. Got to find a way to get into the win column.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you mentioned it, very well-rounded. He's good everywhere. He's been tested. We'll see if he can get back in the win column tonight.
Never left it into the hands of the judges. Always an exciting fighter is Vincent Vanisi out of One Hit MMA as he awaits for Taylor Copeland. Looking to build on the momentum of his January win, here is Taylor Copeland. Jason, nearly 18 months into the amateur career and already at amateur fight number 5.
Yeah, quick turnaround again for him, and this guy looks like he just came out of the weight room. This guy's shredded. He's a big kid.
Already on his second walk of 2025, got a second round TKO in January of this year.
Yeah, he's back. He's in the win column now. You got a 1-3 fighter coming up against a 1-4 fighter. Very evenly matched fight. We'll see who will be able to impose their will tonight.
186.5 pounds last night on the scale. That is the heaviest he has ever been. His last two have been at welterweight. So going up a weight class, Vincent Vanisi was unable to hit that middleweight mark.
Yeah, I'm surprised Copeland could make welterweight. He's pretty shredded. He's pretty shredded at this weight.
Taylor Copeland out of Team No Excuse in Nampa, Idaho. Let's go ahead and take a look at them side by side. Tail to tape, powered by R&R Barbecue. Copeland is 27, 1 year younger is Vanisi. Vanisi hit the plate at 189 pounds. Copeland well under at 186.5, as aforementioned. Both sides of that cage searching for their second victory to get it going. Here's Jackson Hopes.
Fierce fans, this fight is sponsored by Larklean. This fight is an amateur 190-pound catchweight bout scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. And when the fight begins, the referee in charge will be Tyler Tomlinson. Introducing the first fighter, fighting out of the blue corner, holding an amateur record of 1 win and 4 losses. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall and weighed in at 189 pounds. Fighting out of One Hit MMA, hailing from Salt Lake City, Utah. Fierce fans, make some noise for Vincent Vanisi. And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, holding an amateur record of 1 win and 3 losses. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall and weighed in at 186.5 pounds. Fighting out of Team No Excuse MMA Idaho, hailing from Nampa, Idaho. Fierce fans, make some noise for Taylor Gang Copeland.
Eyeing back-to-back victories is Taylor Copeland, rocking the red gloves. Vincent Vanisi responds in the blue gloves. This 190-pound catchweight bout is brought to you by Larklean, your trusted source for safe and effective home cleaning solutions. Use code FFC10 at larklean.com for 10% off the best cleaning supplies on the market. Larklean, the official cleaning supplier of Fierce FC.
Copeland rocking the Apollo Creed shorts tonight.
You know, I'm sad because the last time that we had Apollo Creed shorts, Eric Iman was in the broadcast booth. Couldn't stop talking about him. It was Aiden Egler in April of last year. He'll be on for the main card, but he would have loved to see these.
He would have loved it. I'm sure he saw it in the back there.
Got a couple of TVs down there in the locker rooms. Excited to have him back. Copeland pops out a couple early.
Vanisi, the one landing the big shots now. They're trading shots.
Nice open targets on both sides. Copeland swings for the fences. Vanisi throws back a few of his own.
We might not see a second round in this fight. These guys are throwing leather tonight. You can hear Copeland's corner telling him to breathe.
Copeland, 2 wins in the second round, or 2 fights have finished in the second round. 2 have gone the full 9 minutes. Again, Vanisi never gone to the decision in his career.
Both fighters pretty composed after that little flurry.
And also both now feeling the power of each other. Both landed clean shots. and able to continue to come forward.
Yeah, they both landed some heavy shots and didn't look like it phased either one of them, which makes this pretty interesting when they start trading again.
A couple of close, contained, ripping shots by Vanisi land. Copeland able to exit out, throws a leg kick of his own. Quick smirk on his face.
A lot of fighters liking that inside leg kick again. Copeland using it as well.
Saw that a lot in our last bout at 125 pounds. Still doing it at 190. Are the two inside the cage right now.
Ooh, nice shot from Vanisi. Vanisi looks like he might be bleeding from his nose.
A little bit seeping out of that right nostril as Copeland goes for the kill shot. Vanisi able to get out of the way of it. Lots of sting on these shots by both. Vanisi moves back Copeland.
Copeland has a good poker face. His face doesn't change. Neither does Vanisi's.
Again, Vanisi made his amateur debut in 2019. Copeland in December of 2023. So quite the experience gap between these two as the final 10 seconds commenced moments ago.
I think I cursed us saying it wasn't going to get out of the first round. The way that way the first round started, I thought it was going to be over with.
So back and forth battle right now, lots of stand-up action. We're going to jump it over to the corner of Copeland to see what the guys over at Team No Excuse are saying.
He's putting his hands down. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to start feigning. I want you to kind of move your head, start feigning, start feigning. Get in that teeth, okay? Don't wait for me to tell you. Get in that teeth and check it out. Overhand right. Not just a straight down, because if he's not going to be brawling, fuck it. I want you to be tactful and brawl at the same time. Ta-ta, move it, and whop. Overhand right.
Lots of combinations being thrown in Taylor Copeland's face. His corner calling for plenty of action as well.
Yeah, they want the teep and they want the overhand right. He did land that a couple times in that first round, and I think his corner obviously saw something there. I'll be curious to see if he implements it, and really curious to see what changes Vanisi makes in this going into the second round as well. Very evenly matched in that first round. That's going to be a hard one to judge. Maybe a slight edge to Copeland just because of he was the one kind of leading the dance the most of the first round. If I had to give a slight edge, damage on Vanisi.
Yeah, like we talked about, Copeland expeditious with his entry to open up round number 2.
And he wants that overhand. Nice little jab by Copeland and the right hand.
Copeland throws a couple of big-time shots. Vanisi hits it with an uppercut. Down is Vanisi. Taylor Copeland strikes the win column with a second straight finish.
He doesn't even know where he's at right now. It is Vanisi. The corner called it for Copeland. They called the overhand right. He said, his corners guy said, his hands are down, his hands are low, throw that overhand, and he did, and he connected right on the button. That was a flash knockout because he popped right up. He didn't know where he was at.
Lightning fast finish by Taylor Copeland. Early round 2, Vincent Vanisi was floored, and Tyler Tomlinson said that's enough. It looks as though we've got the replay presented by our friends over at R&R Barbecue as Taylor Copeland is lifted up by his coaches. Jason, take it away.
Yeah, phenomenal coaching work. You heard the corner say they were calling for the overhand. They were calling for the teeps. He came out, threw a big overhand right away. We go back. It looks like we caught the end of it there. And here it is right here. And it looks like it was just a straight shot right down the middle. It was not an overhand. And he just, I think it was the shots leading up to that because he had connected on a couple shots before that. I think that already had Vanisi hurt, but great corner work, great execution by Copeland to finish the fight.
Power straight down the pipe gives Taylor Copeland back-to-back wins. Let's make it official with Jackson Hopes.
Fans, referee Tyler Tomlinson has called a stop to this contest at 22 seconds of the second round, declaring the winner by knockout, Taylor Gay. Copeland!
A monumental card coming to the Maverick Center in August. Let's give you a sneak peek as to what to look forward to a few months down the line. Big show field backed by belts on the line, live from the Maverick Center in West Valley, Utah. This is Fierce Fighting Championship.
The pop when you come out here is so loud and it is so electric.
Out cold!
This is your house.
That right hand was nuclear.
He's got that violent look on his face that I always love to see.
He makes his mark in the Maverick Center
to prop up the Utah MMA scene.
Scan the QR code on your screen for access to Fierce FC's digital program. Get the inside scoop on every fighter making the walk, as well as additional information on future shows. Taylor Copeland with a massive knockout finish, highlight reel for him. Jason, I think we got it one more time. Let's take one more look at it, presented by R&R Barbecues.
Trading in the pocket there.
Jason, you said a couple of those might have hurt him, but that final straight.
It's just that final shot was right. It was literally right on the chin by Copeland. And once again, great execution. He listened to his corner. I love hearing the corner work on that, by the way.
Couple more heavy-handed guys waiting to make that walk. Mike Golian and Gabriel Paraíso to do it right now.
Fierce fans, our next fight of the evening is sponsored by Rockwell Watches. They sincerely hope your Rockwell watch serves as a reminder of a time when you could proudly say, "Watch me." Use promo code FIERCE20, that's promo code FIERCE20, but tonight they are offering 40% off of their Rockwell watches at the Rockwell Watches table. They don't just tell time, they tell a story at Rockwell Watches. Fierce fans, make some noise and welcome Gabriel Paraíso and then Mike Golian to the cage.
Final walk for a first-timer tonight is Gabriel Paraíso. Jason, still in his infancy of MMA, he began training in the small gloves in December of 2024, but already got the green light from Aaron Reese over at Fusion MMA.
This was a fight that I had highlighted on here because of Gabriel. Just started training less than 6 months ago. Ace Reese clearly giving him the green light to go ahead and fight. That speaks volumes for what this kid is going to bring into the cage tonight.
A little bit of context as to how recent this was. He sat in the stands of UFC 307 in Salt Lake, and when he saw Alex Pereira perform, he said it gave him motivation to pursue this career. He gets his first crack at it tonight.
Yeah, that's just amazing. Once again, usually you see a fighter that's only had 6 months of training, you're like, is this guy ready? But when you're training on a gym like Fusion, you got Ace Reese in your corner, and he's giving you the blessing and giving you the green light. This kid's got some talent.
An athletic backing, grew up doing judo, no concrete belt or ranking, but has been around the sport. Also played collegiate basketball in Missouri back in the day.
Okay, so he's athletic. He's a competitor.
Said he's always wanted martial arts to be a part of his life. Now a big milestone to do that alongside Mike Golian. Again, Gabriel Paraíso out of Fusion MMA in St. George, Utah. "11 months removed, back en route is Mike Golian. Jason, he showed his strengths last time out, popping out that jab and keeping it on the feet for another 9-minute match.
Yeah, big Mike Golian, man. He's a big guy. He utilized his jab beautifully in his last fight. You know, funny story, he used to train at Sierra MMA with me in the 530 class. For context, for those of you that don't know, I'm about 5'10", 180 pounds. That's a big guy trying to grapple with him. It didn't end well for me, Blake.
Mike Golian, he does use that 6'6" stature to his advantage. Probably learned a lot from fellow 6'6" heavyweight Eric Iman, who will head to the broadcast booth for our main card.
Yeah, I was going to mention, you know, training out of Team Link and getting training in with Eric Iman is the perfect combination for a guy like Mike Golian.
Third consecutive debuting opponent for him tonight, and there's always such a mystery around what to expect. Never had an opportunity to study any tape.
That's tough for a kid like that, making his third fight, and he's fighting another debuter. Mike just likes to fight.
Back-to-back decisions for Golian. Not every day you see that from heavyweights either.
No, you really don't.
Mike Golian, 2.5 years of training. Again, Sierra MMA earlier on, but been at Team Link now for quite some time. Eric Iman says he's one of those consistent partners in the room for him.
I see him in the pictures all the time. This guy's putting in the work. Big Eric Iman says he's ready to go tonight.
Became a dad shortly after his last fight. Mike Golian, again out of Layton, Utah, weighed in with his shoes on last night, Jason. So very interested to see the actual weight discrepancy as we pull up the numbers between these two heavyweights. Golian is 24, 1 year younger is Paraiso. The 2-inch edge in height falls by way of the Team Link fighter. 21.5-pound gap between these two as well, as Golian's got a little bit more tread on his tires. All right, back in to tee it up. Here's Jackson Hopes.
Sponsored by Rockwell Watches. This fight is an amateur heavyweight bout scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. And when the fight begins, the referee in charge will be Tyler Tomlinson. Introducing the first fighter, fighting out of the blue corner, making his amateur debut. He stands 6 feet 4 inches tall and weighing in at 259 pounds. Fighting out of Fusion, MMA and Jiu-Jitsu. Hailing from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Fierce fans, make some noise for Gabriel Paraiso! And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, holding an amateur record of 1 win and 1 loss. He stands 6 feet 6 inches tall and weighing in at 237.5 pounds. Fighting out of Team Link Utah Training Center, hailing from Syracuse, Utah. Fierce fans, make some noise for Mike Golian!
Back at it tonight is Mike Golian in the red gloves. Gabriel Paraiso, the final debuter in the red gloves. This amateur heavyweight bout is brought to you by Rockwell Watches. They don't just tell time, they tell a story. Rockwell Watches, the official champions watch of Fierce FC. Intensity on the side of Paraiso, Jason.
My palms are sweaty. Parisio's ready. He looks intense.
Tyler Tomlinson takes a big breath. Got some heavyweights in there. 5th assignment. Nearly the halfway point, Tyler. Almost there.
There's that jab from Golian.
Golian attacks up top. Paraiso went to the body early.
Golian making it ugly, head position, putting Parisian right up against the fence. We'll see if any of that judo will come into play here, Blake, from Parisio.
Again, no concrete backing in terms of any sort of specific rank, but did mention it a little bit when we were chatting about his martial arts background. Tyler Tomlinson calling a quick timeout. Our decal swayed off just a little bit. Tyler Tomlinson, actually, it was a knee. I thought he was going to be pulling off.
Yeah, Parisian threw a knee there, and it was pretty close to the head there. I kind of caught it. I thought he was going to let it go, but.
Back to the standing exchange as we go. Golian popping out that jab like he did versus Zach Singer last year.
You heard Eric Iman calling for it.
Nice up kick.
He likes
leg
that
dexterity of Paraiso. Big shot lands on the back foot for Paraiso. Golian gets it back to close quarters.
Nice little check hook by Aparicio as Golian was stepping in. Nice little knee to the body too by Aparicio. Excuse me.
Golian's corner calling for some dirty boxing. He moves the heavyweight over to the other side of the cage. Paraiso listening over to Aaron Reese and his corner.
Yeah, Eric and Fabio want Mike to get this fight to the ground if he can. Mike doing a good job with the head pressure, but really doing any damage right now. I'd like to see him step back and land a couple shots here.
And Jason, been successful in the grappling, but Mike Golian was nearly 22 pounds lighter than Paraiso. But right now, he's the one mainly controlling the fight.
Yeah, he's the one leading the dance as of right now. And this could be that just a little bit of the experience from Golian.
1-1 the record of Golian. Again, Paraiso doing it for the first time tonight. 10-second clapper goes. And I will mention this. I have never heard Eric Eyman corner before. He is loud,
He's
Jason.
very loud. But you heard as soon as he yelled jab, Mike was popping out that jab, so he's listening. He can hear him.
We're going to head over to the corner of Mike Golian, see what Eric Eyman and Fabio Sahau have for the Team Link fighter.
Just get a little busier with your hands, okay? A little busier with your hands. Control the distance, okay? You're doing great. You're doing great.
Your hands are landing. You just gotta throw more. You throw the right hand, you got him, all right? So when you're like in the cage and you're trying to defend, dirty box, change the level, put on his back, okay? We're gonna only take him down with the 30 seconds last 30 seconds. I need you to fight hard in the last 30 seconds, okay?
So they wanted to mix it up a little bit more in there. Primarily, they want a takedown, Jason, like you were talking about.
Yeah, they want the takedown. They want Mike to use this dirty boxing when he gets him up against the fence. We'll see if he can listen and execute in this second round.
Paraiso choked up to the center of the cage just about as far as he could go. A couple of commission members exit out of the cage. Tyler Tomlinson will probably push back Paraiso. He does. Paraiso throws the leg kick. So far, just unable to deal with the pressure of Golian. When he floods the face, he's unable to do anything.
Yeah, right now, great pressure from Golian. He's looking to try to get this fight to the ground now. See if he can implement some of the dirty boxing that the corner was calling for in between rounds.
Eric Eyman suggested that he was doing a pretty good job. Good first round for him, some control time as well as a couple of offensive strikes that landed cleanly.
And you've already seen a change with Paraiso trying to get that crossface in there to push Mike away, but he can't quite get his hand in there to, there he goes. He's digging in right now to try to create some distance there, but right now Mike using great head pressure, pushing Paraiso up against the fence.
Paraiso, the only debuter not facing another debuting opponent here tonight. Got his hands full when he does connect on the chin nicely as he exits out of the pressure of Golian.
Yeah, he did the right thing. He got that right underhook. You could hear somebody. I don't know if it was his corner or the crowd, but he did it, circled away, and landed a big shot.
Just about the halfway point of round number 2. Paraiso teeps out to the body and now aims upstairs.
And he landed 2 big shots on Golian. Golian right back to his bread and butters. Get him up against the cage. He's got to land some damage when he's up against there.
Haven't seen a surplus of that judo background, but the striking has been nice, Jason.
The striking looks crisp. And he's starting to connect here in the later half of the second round. He landed a couple big shots.
Nice knee up the gut by Golian.
know Golian's corner wants him to dirty box. A little easier said than done when you got another big man draped all over you. I feel like this last 30 seconds, this could be anybody's round right now. Golian with a lot of pressure, but Patricio landed the harder shot so far in the second round.
Nearly 500 pounds of force in there right now. Mike Golian doing a lot of the damage, but Tyler Tomlinson says that's enough. Needs to see more action in the waning seconds of round 2. Hearing some urgency in the corner of Mike Golian. Again, they're right next to us, so we can't hear it through the headsets, but heard them saying, you gotta go, Mike, you gotta go.
I'll really be interested to see how the judges are gonna score that. I felt like Patricio landed a couple big shots in that second round. Listen to the corner.
This is your fight to win. Do not let him get on the cage. When your hands over the top, grab his chin, face rip. You know that movement. Straight hands, baby. That's all you need. This is yours. He doesn't want to get hit by you. Do not kick. Go straight at him. As he charges you, hit him. Straight punches, just like...
Words of encouragement, inspirational as well to head into the final frame. The debut so far looks good on him, but Aaron Reese full in the face of Gabriel Patricio, trying to get him fired up.
Yeah, I feel like Aaron Reese is saying, hey, this is your fight. You can still win this fight. I mean, I could easily see Patricio winning that second round. This could be 1-1 going into the third round. Very easily could be 1-1 going into the third round. Patricio started to find the end of those punches, and if he could put a couple of those together, he could end up with a big victory tonight. Golian, I feel, needs to stay a little busier when he's got him up against the cage.
Corner of Patricio claims he doesn't want to stand and strike. He throws a big one there, does connect on the chin, and finally moves back Golian when he was stepping inside.
And there's that striking from Patricio.
Weighty movement shifts the cage, but able to stay upright are the two. Couple of boos from the crowd. Wanted to see some more offense, specifically Patricio threw more than we've seen in the first 2 rounds, Jason.
He did throw more, and he connected a lot more, too, and he had Golian hurt. Golian's going to need to try to take this to the fighter. He's going to need to land some big shots, or he could see this fight slipping through his gloves. Oh, nice body lock now by Golian.
Slipping through his gloves, I like that, Jason.
Learning from you, Blake.
Patricio attentive. See, he's still sharp in between the ears. Golian trying to bring this one down to the R&R Barbecue mat, but so far still upright is the Fusion MMA fighter.
Patricio's a big man to try to get to the ground.
259 on the scales last night. He told me he also cut 5 pounds, so did have to cut a little bit of weight to ensure that he was going to be inside those heavyweight confines.
Golian seems to be, oh, there it is. There's the takedown. And this could have steal the round for Golian right now, because up until this point, I felt like Patricio was winning this round.
Huge win for him as he puts Patricio right in his own corner. Aaron Reese alongside Steve Ergel screaming instructions with 1 minute to go in the third and final round.
This was big for Mike.
Trying to now separate that shoulder, put a little bit of pressure, see if he can get that blood choke. 30 seconds to decide this one.
Great back and forth fight. Now Golian's starting to land a little bit of damage.
Golian's been to the decision in his first 2 fights. Looks as though the third will also. Huge third round for Mike Golian, specifically in the back half of the
Yeah,
Jason.
huge third round. The first half of that third round, I felt like Parisio was going to knock out Golian, and Golian comes back, gets the takedown, landed some damage. That could have tilted the round to his favor, and I could see him winning this fight 29-28.
Mike Golian lost his debut in December of 2024. It was a close fight. He mentioned that he was proud of his performance, but did a lot better in that May showing last year versus Zach Singer. This one shows improvements as well, but it wasn't the prettiest as we've seen in the past.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't the prettiest, but I feel like he got the job done. But hey, listen, Parisio could be a problem. Like, he showed some great striking. He's very infant in his MMA career, which is 6 months training for this kid, and he looked very good.
About 4 months, if I'm doing the math correctly.
4 months
started
of
in
training.
December, so 4 or 5 months for Paraíso, as he gets a good pat on the back from Fabio Sahau. Good talent out of St. George. Excited to see what the future holds for him. He said that he wants to make this a career. Hopefully we see him have a recurring role here at Fierce.
I feel like he has all the tools to do it. You know, just go back to the gym, sharpen up the tools a little bit. I feel like we'll be seeing this name a lot.
Mike Golian got a big smile on his face as he drapes over the American flag. What you got, Jason? We'll see what the scorecards have to say. Questions set to become answers. We'll jump it over to Jackson.
Fierce fans, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. The judges score this contest 30-27, 29-28, and 30-27, declaring the winner by unanimous decision out of the red corner, Mike Golian!
Step aside for just a moment for a message from our friends at Rockwell Watches. When we come back, Aaron Jennings alongside Brendan Myers at 130 pounds.
Come on, check this out. Check this out.
So Mike Golian gets the nod from the judges. He jumps over right behind the broadcast booth, but happy to have you here. Blake O'Ruling alongside Jason Laporte. Final fight on the prelims falls to Brendan Myers as well as Aaron Jennings.
And this is another banger fight. Buckle up for this fight because it's going to be non-stop action.
Evening is sponsored by Underground Farm. For your cutting-edge peptide solutions that enhance health and wellness, use promo code FIERCE10. That is promo code FIERCE10. Driven by science, committed to your wellness, Underground Farm. Fierce fans, make some noise and welcome Aaron Jennings and then Brendan Myers to the cage.
All right, first time fighting in Utah in 3 years is Aaron Jennings. Jason, Idaho's #1 pound-for-pound flyweight, eyeing the win column to go 4 out of his last 5.
Yeah, don't let the 4-5 record deceive you. This kid can fight. He's the #1 flyweight coming out of Idaho, and he was intense. I ran into him in the parking lot walking in, and, you know, he's ready. He's been focused.
Just 1 fight in 2024, but not on his own accord. A couple of canceled bouts in recent months have kept him sidelined, itching to get back in there. Same can be said about his dance partner, Brendan Myers.
Yeah, both fighters very active. This is an exciting fight. This is another fight that I've had circled on my night as possibly being one of the fights of the night.
Aaron Jennings out of Team Lionheart in Idaho Falls has finishing ability at flyweight, a 75% finish rate, Jason, all of them by KO or TKO.
Yeah, this is going to be a scrappy fight. Both fighters can finish. Both fighters like to bring it.
All action from him as soon as that bell dings. 5 of his last 6 bouts have ended in the first round. His Instagram handle is Bout Action. Lives up to it every time.
Yes, he does.
That cage door closes. Aaron Jennings looking to move to 5-5 and again get 4 out of his last 5. Finally making his first walk at the Masonic Temple is Brendan Myers. Jason, a struggle to get past Lance Regenball in September, but wanted to turn things around as one of the most consistent combatants in the state.
You know, the one thing I love about this job, Blake, is watching guys like a Brendan Meyer blossom in his career and stay active and improve every fight. I love this kid. I love watching him fight. Very excited about this one.
Brendan Myers alongside Fierce FC amateur flyweight champion Dante Morales, as well as his head coach, Dane Aristizabal. I don't know if you see it there, but he dons about a dozen new tattoos. His teammate Chris Anderson, his wife Sophie, started a tattooing business recently. Myers, as you see, a loyal customer.
All right, I didn't notice that. I can't quite see it yet when he walks in the cage. I'll have to check it out. I did not know that.
It peaked on his midsection just for a moment as he was hugging Dane Aristizabal before he started taking care of him before he enters the cage. I was talking to Brendan just a few weeks ago, and he told me, hey, I got a fun fact for you on the broadcast. He told me that he has never thrown a kick in his 7-fight career.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Did you know that prior to this?
No, I did not.
Okay.
Brendan Myers, first time ever competing outside of the Fierce Challenger Series name, 7-time alum of that smaller show platform. Final fight of the prelims heads to 130 pounds. Jennings, 2 years older than his dance partner. Myers is 5'6". Same can be said about the Idaho talent. Half a pound separates these two on the scale. 4-3 the record for Myers, 4-5 for Jennings. All right, to kickstart the action, here's Jackson.
Fierce fans, this fight is sponsored by Underground Farm. This fight is an amateur 130-pound catchweight bout scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds, and when the fight begins, the referee in charge will be Tyler Tomlinson. Introducing the first fighter, fighting out of the blue corner, holding an amateur record of 4 wins and 5 losses. He stands 5 feet 6 inches tall and weighing at 128 1/2 pounds. Fighting out of Team Lionheart MMA, hailing from Blackfoot, Idaho. Fierce fans, make some noise for Aaron Jennings! And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, holding an amateur record of 4 wins and 3 losses. He stands 5 feet 6 inches tall and weighing in at 129 pounds. Fighting out of Akima Jiu-Jitsu and MMA, hailing from Clovis, California. Fierce fans, make some noise for Brendan the Menace Myers!
Home game feel for Brendan Myers in the red gloves, Aaron Jennings to answer back in the blue gloves. This amateur 130-pound catchweight bout is brought to you by Underground Farm. Optimize your performance, recovery, and overall well-being with advanced peptide solutions. Underground Farm, an official sponsor of Fierce FC. Myers sprints out of the floodgates to the center of the cage. Always been a fast starter, Jason, more calculated in that approach in recent years.
Nice strike from Myers.
Stepped inside cleanly. Jennings tried to answer back, but Myers was already out of the way. Some looping hooks thrown as well by the Idaho talent.
Myers very calculated this fight, going to the body, taking his time with the striking. Landed nice counters, 2 nice counters by Myers.
Able to find the floor is Myers about 45 seconds into this one. Last time took him just 13 seconds. He has taken down or dropped every opponent he has faced in his 7 amateur fights.
And he's right inside control.
Myers, a jiu-jitsu purple belt. All of his finishes are by submission, most recently in March of last year.
Knee on belly right to mount by Myers.
Textbook as can be. Now squeezing for that Von Flue. We see some wincing from Jennings.
Yeah, Jennings has got his hands clasped there. I think I feel like he needs to let that go. There he did, right there. Now he just gave up his neck.
Brendan Myers searching for that rear naked choke. Both of Jennings' submission losses have been by this path.
And that's deep, Blake.
Myers looking to make it a third. Fighting it well, separating that forearm, but seems to be dead to rights.
And there you go, just tighten it up a little bit. Might get a tap here soon.
There's the finish. Aaron Jennings taps Brendan Myers back on top.
Quick work tonight from Brendan Myers. Phenomenal job. Oh, Brendan's talking trash to his teammate over there. I like it. I like it, a little trash talk.
Teammate of Aaron Jennings.
A little middle finger from Brendan.
The fight nerd glasses get back up on the face. A first round finish for him. And Jason, I was reading the lips. I heard it a little bit. He said, "You don't want to fight me. You don't want to fight me." We love you too, Brendan Myers. Great work as always by him. He gets his 4th submission victory in quick fashion as well.
That was very quick. Very calculated. We're going to get a little trash talk here in the cage. They
make up pretty quick.
That was a little makeup there. Maybe we'll see a matchup here down the line.
I'm always fascinated by what fighters do immediately after they win and then just seconds later when the adrenaline starts to drop.
I mean, obviously I don't fight. I can't even imagine. You know, a fighter that comes to mind of that is Carson Hardman. You see how intense he is in there, man. And once he gets out of the cage, he's the nicest guy you ever met.
All right, back in to make it official. We'll kick it over to Jackson Hopes.
Fierce fans, referee Tyler Tomlinson has called a stop to this contest at 2 minutes 4 seconds of the very first round, declaring the winner by submission due to rear naked choke, Brendan the Menace Myers.
Got a couple of clips to give you a look at what to expect at the top of this main card. Derek Jorgensen, Nico Braswell going to be battling it out for the amateur featherweight title. We'll be right back with more Fierce Fighting Championship. A Deadeye debut back in February. The question is, can he continue that trend in 2025? Derek Jorgensen, 2 in a row on the hottest streak of his amateur career. Very interested to see what the results render for the Tooele fighters.
This is going to be a good fight tonight.
Nico Braswell pulls off the shutout in the sophomore slate.
Mark Nico Braswell's name on the list of prospects to watch.
We're going to see some fireworks tonight with this fight.
Put your hands together and make some noise!
All right, 6 bouts in, 4 still remain as we take a timeout in the action. When we come back, the amateur featherweight title finds a new home between Derek Jorgensen and Nico Braswell. For right now, you can learn a little bit more about each and every matchup on the main card with this segment from the Damage Plan MMA podcast. You're watching Fierce Fighting Championship 40, presented by R&R Barbecue. Back inside the iconic Masonic Temple with a main card full of finishers. This is Fierce Fighting Championship 40, presented by R&R Barbecue. Welcome in, everyone, to the main card. Blake O'Rulian alongside Jason Port. Eric Iman back in the broadcast booth for the first time in a long time. How you been, my man?
I have been fantastic. I'm so excited to be back here and call some of these exciting fights with you guys. It feels like coming home.
How's your voice feeling? You were loud in that corner.
I am loud. I'm naturally a loud guy. I want to make sure my fighter hears me, and I think he did.
Been some time since you cracked the sticks. We've got 4 slated on this main card. Who are you looking forward to?
There's some great fights on here. I like Nico. Alden's tough. Josiah Simpson. We got some out-of-towners that are coming in that have been very active and very tough guys. This is a great, great fight card.
Well, a featherweight clash for a strap gets the gears turning on this main card. Let's get it going with Jackson Hopes.
Fierce fans, welcome to the main card. Everyone tuning into the pay-per-view and everyone here inside the sold-out, iconic Masonic Temple in Salt Lake City, Utah. Put your hands together and make some noise! going to start this card off with our only title fight of the evening, sponsored by JC Pro Design. For your custom apparel, banners, signs, decals, vehicle wraps, and more, go with the Pro JC Pro Design. Fierce fans, make some noise and welcome our two title fighters, Derek Jorgensen and then Nico Braswell, to the cage.
Well, he called for the toughest, and that test does not come without some hardware. Enter Derek Jorgensen. Eric, once upon a time, a 1-2 amateur with some brutal losses to now 3 straight and up for the 45 strap.
Yeah, he was really, it looks like he was really busy. He didn't let the dust settle last year. He wanted this opportunity, and he worked hard for it. It looks like he's developed quite a bit.
Jason, 3 times the experience edge to Derek. Got to be something in his mindset coming into tonight.
Yeah, like you said, he's dusted it off. He took two big losses, came back. He's on a fight win streak, and he wanted the toughest tonight, and he's got the toughest tonight in Nico Braswell.
Won 3 consecutive, 2 by first round submission. Very, very interested to see how he looks in this first title setting. Coming off the heels also of his fastest finish ever versus a training partner of Nico Braswell and Zach Hamilton.
Yeah, he did fight one of Nico Braswell's training partner. Nico Braswell has just been a wrecking ball since he stepped onto the scene too.
Nico Braswell, lots to look forward to with him, but so much of Derek Jorgensen's success has been built off of his grappling foundation. Same can be said about the Agima fighter.
Yeah, both very heavy grapplers. Nico super aggressive. This is a great fight.
Derek Jorgensen, 31 years of age, going to be a good one, Eric.
It'll be really interesting to see how these two grapplers stack up with each other. You know, they're both from well-rounded camps, so.
Both should get quite the pop from the crowd, too.
Well, this roof rumbles when Nico Braswell's music hits. Jason, just 2 fights in, but never looked like a newcomer since he made his debut in February of last year.
He's looked like a seasoned vet every time he stepped in the cage, and this speaks volume. Having him fight for a title, only being 2-0, it speaks volumes for what the potential is with this kid.
Eric, 76% control time in his first 2 fights on average. It was 11 seconds to Matt Elisa Kamanu in February of last year, 20 seconds to Flor Zarek Moshed earlier this year.
Yeah, you know, like we talked about, the grappling just speaks for itself. Both of them fantastic grapplers. We'll see who can implement their game early and control the position.
And Jason, we talked about it a little bit, but his first 2 fights have been alongside debuters. Quite the leap to throw with a guy like Jorgensen.
Yeah, huge leap with a guy with Jorgensen, and he's been Jorgensen is battle tested. He's been in there with some tough guys. He's faced a beat. He came back on a win streak. What a matchup.
Let's see what flies off the film for this featherweight title bout. Jorgensen on the north side of 30, a staggering 6-inch height advantage. Also favors the Tooele fighter. Both log underneath the championship rim of 145 pounds. Unbeaten at 2-0 is Braswell, 4-2 for Jorgensen. All right, geared to get us started is Jackson Hose.
Fierce fans, this fight is sponsored by JC Pro Design, and when the fight begins, the referee in charge will be Tyler Tomlinson. The fight is scheduled for 5 3-minute rounds for the Fierce Fighting Championship Amateur Featherweight title. Introducing the first fighter, fighting out of the blue corner, holding an amateur record of 4 wins and 2 losses. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall and weighed in at 144 pounds. Fighting out of Tooele Martial Arts Academy, hailing from Tooele, Utah. Fierce fans, make some noise for Derek Jorgensen. And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, holding an undefeated amateur record of 2 wins and 0 losses. He stands 5 feet 4 inches tall and weighed in at 144.5 pounds. Fighting out of Agima Jiu-Jitsu and MMA, hailing from Provo, Utah, by way of Chandler, Arizona. Fierce fans, make some noise for Nico El Suave Braswell.
amateur fight, amateur rules, okay? Listen, obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. If you do not protect yourself, I will stop the fight. You guys have any questions? All right, watch the back of the head. Touch gloves and back up.
Title fight digs for Nico Braswell in the red gloves. On a hot streak of his own is Derek Jorgensen opposite in the blue. This amateur featherweight title bout is brought to you by JC Pro Design. From expert fabric recommendations to accurate color matching, you can count on JC Pro Design to make you look good. JC Pro Design, an official sponsor of Fierce FC.
I'm really interested to see how Nico deals with the length here.
6-inch height disadvantage for Braswell. Again, 5'10" is Jorgensen, 5'4" on the other side. Jason never really had an issue with any height disadvantages up to this point, but again, only 2 fights in.
Yeah, he's never really been tested either. So will he be able to handle a little bit of adversity if it comes for him? He can definitely handle a heavy leg kick, because that was a heavy leg kick by Nico.
Fast twitch for the Agima fighter. Jorgensen steps in to pop out a jab.
I think Jorgensen looks just a hair timid. Maybe he might be worried about rushing in and running into a takedown.
The wrestling prowess of both of these guys so special, but Nico Braswell, again, a 76% control time in his first 2 walks. A couple of feints as well, Jason.
Yeah, Nico is explosive too. When he goes, he goes. And that's maybe the hesitation we're seeing from Jorgensen, Eric.
Well, and being, me being a taller fighter, you always got to hesitate rushing in on a shorter fighter, because if you get too overextended with your hands, he can duck under.
Both guys trading back and forth. Not a lot of clean shots hit so far. Very attentive in the gray trunks as well as the white.
If I'm Jorgensen, I'd probably work that same leg kick a little bit more. Work that feint and then work the leg kick. See if you can soften it up.
Backed up is Braswell, able to flashily dump Derek Jorgensen right back up to his feet.
Braswell's throwing leather.
Yeah, he is.
That. Jorgensen's holding on to the leg, but Braswell's punishing him for it.
Climbing up the tree is Nico Braswell. Got the fans in a frenzy.
Jorgensen could be in a little bit of trouble here.
Trying to step over for that omoplata. Derek Jorgensen, veteran move to hide the hand. Teeter-tottering back and forth, Eric.
Jorgensen needs to break that grip around his waist and turn into him. Or he can shake and try to shake that arm out. There he goes.
Kind of a pedestrian start, Jason, but right now, Nico Braswell going for broke.
Yeah, when he goes, he goes. He is all action. Jorgensen listened to his corner. You saw him nod his head there, so he's doing the right things here, circling around. This is where we have not seen Nico Braswell on the bottom. I don't think we've ever seen Nico on the bottom like this in a fight.
Not a second on the short side of control time. Eric, what you got?
Well, if I'm Nico, I'm going to try to scoot my butt back towards the cage to start to work up. He's only got 10 seconds here, so this is probably where this fight's going to end this round.
What a way to start. First 3 minutes. Fascinating, Jason.
That was exciting, and you saw a little bit of the dominance on Jorgensen on the ground. Once he was able to get on top, it looked like it could be a problem for Braswell.
Well, that was a great scramble, too, though. Neither guy was just sitting and trying to hold position. They were both moving, trying to advance.
Over in the corner of Derek Jorgensen, let's see what Tooele Martial Arts Academy has to say about their contender. Not a whole lot of clear audio on that. Some more soft-spoken guys, so we'll kick it back over to the broadcast booth. But good round, Jason.
Great round, great back and forth. Tough round to score. Both fighters had moments.
Yeah, I'd maybe like to see Jorgensen just commit to the striking a little bit more. If he throws the jab, see if he can time something up, an uppercut or something like that. Nico's going to want to close the distance again. He had that big slam. They both had a big slam in that first round. So
yeah, both big slams. Braswell with the submission attempts. Jorgensen had a little bit of control time in the end there, last 10 seconds or so.
So much has been said about the size discrepancy between these two, between weight and height, but Nico Braswell comes away with a good first finish. Down is Braswell. Derek Jorgensen hits the button. There's the finish. Derek Jorgensen.
I was not expecting a big overhand from a taller fighter.
Almost, Blake, thought that might have been a bad stoppage, but Nico was clearly out there.
Yeah, especially with the stumble after.
That was at first I'm like, because it felt like he was fighting up, but he clearly was out. Great stoppage by Tyler Tomlinson, and a big shot by Jorgensen. Wow.
Speechless after the shot, Derek Jorgensen.
I
flips
feel
on the chin. Beautiful finish by him. He's going to get a belt for it.
I feel a little Nostradamus there because I said he needed to commit to a strike, and then he committed all the way and made it work.
There's a reason we've got you in this chair. R&R Barbecue replay queued up. Eric, break it down for us.
So he just closed the distance and threw the overhand. He started pawing with the jab a little bit to set that up at first, and then committed all the way in, ducked his head to the side, right on the chin. Perfect shot. And then didn't give him any breath, got right on top of him and just went to work until it was stopped.
A great first round shown by Nico Braswell, but in a game of inches, the veteran comes out on top. Tyler Tomlinson ready to make this one official. Let's go back to Jackson.
Fierce fans, referee Tyler Tomlinson has called a stop to this contest at 14 seconds of the second round, declaring the winner by TKO and new undisputed featherweight champion, Derek Jorgensen.
Derek, congratulations, man. That was a phenomenal performance. Great back and forth in the first round. Did you guys see something in that first round that set up that shot?
He kept trying to parry my jab a lot, setting everything up, and then he was just comfortable. He's trying to throw back heavy, so he's dropping his hands a little bit for that. So just went for a knee tap and caught him with overhand.
Well, you're the champ now. Phenomenal finish. Where do you go from here, man? You ready to defend the belt?
First, I got to help a couple of my teammates. They have fights coming up. First is get them ready, get them beating ass. And then, yeah, let me know when Zach wants something.
Anybody you want to give a shout out to tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. First off, my wife right there, red shirt. Love my wife, my son's next to her. Slasher Aesthetics, TMAA, Bison Strike Athletics, Versatile, Pest Control, Murder Titty Rash Guards, and Jenny the Foodie Realtor.
I love it. Congratulations again on a phenomenal performance. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your winner and new Fierce FC featherweight champion, Derek Jorgensen.
FST. Who is FST filtration? What is FST filtration? You see, FST is more than a filter company just trying to be cool. FST is a solution-based company in the heart of Utah, where hard work is embedded in its roots, and providing superior indoor air quality is our mission. FST has risen to the challenges that everyday people face. As new challenges present themselves, we too shall rise to the occasion. Manufacturing is the backbone of America, and our employees are the backbone of FST. So when choosing your next filter for your home or building, don't choose any filter. Choose FST. Small business, family owned, since 2001.
Scan the QR code on your screen right now for access to Fierce FC's digital program. Get the inside scoop on every fighter making a walk tonight, as well as additional information on future shows. So fellas, Derek Jorgensen waxes poetic. Jason, back in August of 2023, he was 1-2 with 2 brutal KO losses. Now, his first shot at a belt, he gets a fantastic finish.
That was beautiful. That was a beautiful setup. I love the way he broke that down. Shout out to Derek. Here we go with the replay. Eric, I'm going to let you take that.
Well, and I didn't see him go for the knee tap, so good thing he cleared that up for me. But he was patient at first. Dropped the hand, tried to get him to look down, and then just threw that overhand when the chin was up. He threw it like a meteor.
pounced on it well. Jason,
and just to add on that, in that first round, I heard Nico's corner calling for him to keep his chin down. So Derek's corner clearly saw something in that first round that Nico was keeping that chin a little high.
Yeah, and you know, that's a little bit of inexperience. A lot of inexperienced guys, they tend to back up with their chin up, and it's detrimental. That's all it takes to end a fight.
All right, amateurs are closed out. Pros pending. Chris Anderson, Ethan Goodwin to get it started.
Fierce fans, our next fight of the evening is sponsored by Accelerated Athletics. Follow the best athlete and product development company on Instagram and shop online for your combat gear, training apparel, and much more. Geared for greatness at Accelerated Athletics. Fierce fans, make some noise and welcome Ethan Goodwin and then Chris Anderson to the cage.
"13 months away from the cage, back to it, is Ethan Goodwin. Eric, been some time, but that one win fonted next to his name was here in Salt Lake 3 years ago in the pro debut.
Yeah, it looked like he dropped a couple leading up to this, but he's taken some time out and retooled. A lot of times, a little bit of time off does a fighter good.
Jason, able and ready at the drop of a hat, however, took this fight on just 2.5 weeks' notice.
Yeah, I mean, this kid comes out of Extreme Couture down there in Vegas. He's got Roman Isbell in his corner. He's training with some of the best down there. He's ready to go, and he's a big bantamweight.
Ethan Goodwin tipped the scales yesterday at 135 pounds flat. In order to rehydrate and get some more calories in him after a drastic weight cut, he had ketchup sandwiches, hamburger buns with ketchup. That's what he was eating.
Interesting.
I have never heard of that before. That's a new one. Maybe he's trying to get some sugar. Ketchup has a lot of sugar in it, so.
Former guest of the Damage Plan MMA podcast, too, is Ethan Goodwin.
Well, and usually when you weight cut, you cut out carbs. So the carbs will help feed water back into the muscle.
Just like clockwork, Chris Anderson makes his return to the Masonic Temple. Jason, he's off to a hot start with a second-round submission late last year. Puts everything into every camp to get the job done.
Yeah, he's another fighter that I've watched kind of blossom into the fighter he is in today. Training out of Agema, he's very well-rounded, great submissions. Don't sleep on this kid if it goes to the ground. He is very slick with his submissions.
Eric, a mainstay at Agema, been training a lot with former UFC flyweight Cynthia Calvillo to sharpen his skill set. Not a bad training partner to have.
No, you know, great camp. He comes from a good background. He looks super focused here, too. He looks laser focused.
Been a studious approach as a professional on top of an uptick in his training. He was so well read on Donnie Wegner going into that debut fight. He knew that Donnie would blow his wad early on in, and then in the second frame, he was able to come away with that submission win.
It's the maturity of the fighter we've seen in Chris Anderson. We've seen him grow as a fighter.
Chris Anderson back at bantamweight, his first fight at 135 pounds since May of 2021 in his amateur debut. He fought Artis Lyles, another Extreme Couture talent. But first of 4 pro matchups fall to 135 pounds as mentioned. Chris Anderson, the older of the pair at 29, Ethan Goodwin with the 2-inch edge in height. 1-0 the record for Anderson, 1-2 for the Extreme Couture fighter. All right, queued up and ready to go. Here's host.
Fierce fans, this fight is sponsored by Accelerated Athletics. This fight is a professional bantamweight bout scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. And when the fight begins, the referee in charge will be Tyler Tomlinson. Introducing the first fighter, fighting out in the blue corner, holding a professional record of 1 win and 2 losses. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall and weighing in at 135 pounds. Fighting out of Extreme Couture MMA, hailing from Las Vegas, Nevada. Fierce fans, make some noise for Ethan Goodwin. And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, holding an undefeated professional record of 1 win and 0 losses. He stands 5 feet 7 inches tall and weighing in at 135 pounds. Fighting out of Agema Jiu-Jitsu and MMA and 4-7 Training Center, hailing from Springville, Utah. Fierce fans, make some noise for Chris Anderson.
Take two at the temple for Chris Anderson in the red gloves. Extreme Couture's Ethan Goodwin on the other side in the blue. This bantamweight bout is brought to you by Accelerated Athletics, athlete and product development based right here in Utah. Accelerated Athletics, an official sponsor of Fierce FC. Fun one to start off the pro fights. Chris Anderson, the local here in Utah. Ethan Goodwin making the trip from down south in Las Vegas. Top of round 3 of a possible 3. Top of round 1 of a possible 3, I apologize. As Anderson opens up with some crisp head movement, switches stances as well.
Nice movement from Anderson.
Yeah, really good head work.
Burrows his way inside to start initiating some grappling. Ethan Goodwin immediately pounces on the neck. Anderson might be in a little bit of trouble. Some urgency in the voice of Dana Aristizabal as he brings it down.
Yeah, Ethan's got those long arms, and he's got them wrapped around Chris's head right now. Chris needs to get...
Yeah, he needs to work that head out. I'd like to see him grab his elbow with that right hand and try to use that as some leverage.
Goodwin does have a submission win in April of 2022. It was a rear naked choke over Teague Vigil. But Chris Anderson, he's won 5 in a row, 4 total submission wins between his amateur and professional careers. Well versed on the ground.
Yeah, very well versed on the ground. This is where we're going to see him go to work here.
He's in a good position. He's got a Goodwin with his head against the cage, so it's hard to escape that way. Goodwin probably needs to get his posture upwards and start working up. Use the cage to start trying to get back to his feet.
Muting the movement of Goodwin. Like you mentioned, Eric, right up against that cage. So difficult to get anything garnered from that spot, but right over near Roman Isbell and the Extreme Couture corner.
Yeah, I'd like to see Goodwin try to get to a side and post an arm. Try to push up, get his posture up against the cage so he can try to either get a reverse that way or try to get back to his feet.
Goodwin, a 7-4 amateur from 2018 to 2021. Anderson, a 6-3 amateur from 2021 to 2024.
Well, that was a quick triangle attempt by Ethan Goodwin. He's got that locked up pretty tight.
Shoots it up as Anderson tries to posture. Now closing back inside towards the head of the Las Vegas dance partner.
Ethan dangerous from his back there. That was a quick attempt, and now he's eating some elbows from Chris.
Anderson did a good job of stacking him there to make sure he couldn't extend.
Goodwin 1-1 against Utah talent, beat Teague Vigil but fell to Thomas Prestridge in November of 2023.
Choo-choo.
Haven't seen him in a long time.
I've been watching his fights. In Utah, we haven't seen him
Yeah.
fight, but he's still very active. That's a sign, Zach. Let's get Prestridge back in there.
Primarily fights over in Idaho as well as down in Nevada, sometimes in Arizona as well. Thomas Prestridge, always a great talent, again, has shared the cage with Goodwin in the past. Chris Anderson trying to crawl his way up the body of Goodwin.
He's worked into that half guard now, and he's working into the full mount.
It's just about, I thought he was going to sneak that leg through.
We've seen Tyler Tomlinson separate a few times tonight on multiple occasions. Might see it again here with just under 60 seconds to go, round 1.
Both fighters staying pretty active.
Yeah, they're moving. He's trying to get his posture up. He needs to stand up and turn towards him.
Nice transition by Anderson to get over to a side.
Yeah.
Goodwin
Very
met in the face by a
controlling.
punch.
Yeah, very, very good controlling. Made sure he was in a good position. I'd like to see him pop that leg out like he's trying to do and jump to a side mount in this.
Might be a little heavy. I know you could finish that from there. Very hard to finish, though.
Very hard to finish there, but if he gets to the side, he can definitely finish it there. Those knees.
That's new. I've never seen anybody drop a knee from that like there. That was beautiful.
Getting creative in the final seconds of round one. Chris Anderson, lots of control time for him to start this one off. Interesting round we go over to Chris Anderson. Looks to be fired up, Eric.
Yeah, he still looks very focused. He had most of the control there.
All right, dominant round. Okay? Now, when we get to the ground like that, we got to watch his shin bone sneaking up to that bicep, right? He wants that high. Keep your head a little bit higher and be mindful of those legs. Okay? Now, I like that Topuria pop. We got a fire out of it. Okay? It was there for you. Trust it. Fire. 6-3-2s. Okay? They're there.
Eric Eyman, if you could translate for the fans at home, we'd really appreciate it.
I think he's just congratulating him, telling him he needs to keep the posture, keep the control the way he's doing. He's dominated the first round. You know, not a whole lot of scramble, but Goodwin did try that triangle submission, but Anderson was very competent and stayed calm. He didn't panic.
And Jason, the guillotine was close too. That was the first submission threat, right?
Yeah, that was very tight. But Chris Anderson, man, he's calm, cool, and collected. He didn't get rattled at any point. Stayed in a dominant position and worked for submissions through that whole round.
Yeah, and I think his composure is what got him through that guillotine. He didn't panic. He's moving his head really well.
And he just threw an overhand too.
He has locked down and locked in since he has made that move over to the professional ranks. The fight against Donnie Wegner wasn't a brawl by any means, but he was able to come away with a calculated finish. Now trying to do it again as Goodwin's got that guillotine.
Yeah, they're slippery now. That'll be harder to hold on to.
Especially submissions off of the back, right?
Yeah. Well, and as much pressure as Anderson's keeping on him when he's down, he can't extend his hips to try to finish one of those submissions.
Really impressed with Chris Anderson tonight. Looks great on his feet. Very calculated, Chris Anderson tonight.
Round two brought to you by Accelerated Athletics, athlete and product development based right here in Utah. Fighting the hands is Anderson. He'll follow up with an elbow as well.
Listening to his corner there.
He's doing a good job of using the elbows. So every time Goodwin's trying to control Anderson's hands, he's hitting him with an elbow to keep it moving, keep those arms loose.
Anderson always offers a grueling pace for his opponents. Feels his cardio has only improved with a more focused fight camp. Also, formerly a soccer player, a sport that requires copious amounts of cardio.
A lot of cardio in soccer.
I don't even want to run across the soccer field once.
Heavyweight Eric Eyman, 6'6", lots of weight to be thrown across that field.
Some of us aren't built to run.
You could be a goalie.
You would be a good goalie, Eric. Tall, lanky.
Side, block.
Pedestrian pace here in round number two, nearing the halfway point of it.
Ethan doing enough on the ground to not put himself in too much danger, but right now just dominant performance by Chris Anderson.
Yeah, and Anderson's capitalizing when he's got an opportunity to throw a shot. Anderson's just bullying him here. He's keeping composure, keeping posture.
As an amateur, Chris Anderson went to the decision four times in his career, won 2 decisions, lost 2 decisions as well. As for Ethan Goodwin, all 3 of his professional fights have gone to at least a third and final. Hearing some humming and buzzing from the crowd, Jason. I think everyone wanting to see a little bit more action, see something similar to what Derek Jorgensen just did a few moments ago.
Yeah, after that last fight, everybody's got their heart rate up, everybody's buzzing. This one's a little slower paced than the last one.
Well, Goodwin's staying with his hips square under Anderson. He's not going to be able to get away from him here. This is how this fight's pace is going to continue unless Goodwin starts trying to move his hips. And he's in a bad position here.
Another elbow peppered in by the Agima fighter. About a minute to go, round 2.
Once upon a time, I overturned a guy that way by pushing off the cage.
I remember that.
And I'd like to see him do the same thing. Pop him.
Nice short elbow lands as well for Anderson. Has a couple of those here late round 2.
Yeah, brutal ground and pound by Anderson.
Now setting up an Americana on the opposite side. Vicious with those elbows right now, Jason.
Vicious elbows by Anderson. I really like what I'm seeing from Anderson tonight.
Showing stark improvements from the pro debut and won that one in the second round via submission.
He's got both hooks in.
Anderson, 3 of his 4 submission wins have been by rear naked choke on the back, but might not be enough time, as we'll see minutes 10 through 15. Interesting one so far. Might see a decision. Eric, your thoughts?
I think Goodwin's confidence is not there. You know, it's hard when it's that oppressive and that pressure's that way. It's really hard to try to come back from that, especially when it's 2 rounds the same dosage.
Got some words from Roman Isbell out of Extreme Couture. We'll go to him.
Right? You take the bad shot, I want to control. I want to speed stuff. No dark shit. Right? Attack trip, I want a lot of punches. You need to start going after. Okay? Start kicking, start attacking. Head kick right up inside. Right after the head kick, take your head kick. Right? Let's go. You need to hit this head right away.
Lots of punches, trying to get his fighter focused and inspired in there.
You know, at this point, Goodwin's down 2 rounds. He needs a Hail Mary. He needs to stop this somehow.
Yeah, that last round could have been a 10-8 round. It's total domination by Chris Anderson.
A little bit of blood coming from that left nostril of Goodwin as well, likely from those weighty elbows thrown by Anderson.
You know, Roman wants the punches from Goodwin, but I don't really think he knows what to do with the movement from Chris Anderson.
Hasn't shown this shade of his game in a little bit of time. Always been good on the feet, but like we talked about earlier, Jason, so many improvements have been made in a short amount of time as he pieces together a combination there.
Ethan just landed a couple shots, but not enough as Chris Anderson shoots for the takedown. We could be back to a repeat of what we've seen the last 2 rounds.
Anderson landed 3 or 4 really clean shots there to enter into this clinch. It's always a toss-up. Are you good with standing and trying to finish him on the feet, or do you go back to what's worked this whole fight? Ooh.
Goodwin going for that Hail Mary. Anderson able to get that left arm in on the opposite side. That might have saved him.
Goodwin's still dangerous. He's letting Anderson know you better be paying attention because I'm looking for a neck there to try to finish this fight. No quit from Goodwin.
And Eric, are you seeing that that's really his only path to victory right now from what you've seen in the striking?
Yeah. Anderson's head movement has been so good. He hasn't landed much clean. His footwork's been really good, and now we're back to how we finished the last round. He's got a body lock.
Goodwin's going to need to get that right leg in the middle there.
Anderson with that secure body lock over as well. Foot hidden behind the right knee of Goodwin as he peppers in a few shots.
Goodwin can straighten out that right leg and get Chris Anderson's right leg in the middle, have a little bit of space to maneuver there.
Now covering up the mouth is Chris.
I always hated that so bad.
Clearly been drilling that the last couple weeks in jiu-jitsu.
That smothering just used to make me so mad, and which is why they do it, right?
Yep.
Who was the worst with it? Anyone that the fans might know who's watching at home?
It's hard to say. I can tell you who was the worst with me, and it was Jackson. Jackson did it just continuously.
Jackson who?
Maurice Jackson. The fight I broke my arm in, as a matter of fact.
Happy to have Eric Eyman back in the broadcast booth, first time since September of last year at Bear Lake. Alongside Jason Laporte, I'm Blake O'Rulian. About 2 minutes and 20 seconds remain here in the third and final round between these two at bantamweight. Chris Anderson been in the driver's seat for the majority of it as he's trying to climb his way back over to mount.
See, in this position, Goodwin needs to turn towards Anderson, but at that point, even if he turns towards Anderson, he's in a bad position there too, which is
goes right
exactly what happened.
A couple of strong strikes landed by Anderson to get himself to the top. Lots of transitions triggered right now by his offense as Goodwin looked like maybe trying to invert, Jason.
Yeah, it did look like he was trying to invert. Like Eric said, he's shooting for that Hail Mary there.
Anderson talking a little bit as well to Goodwin. Not sure if it's to Goodwin or to his corner, but it seemed as though it was to his opponent.
Right now, he has every right to be doing all the talking because it's pure domination from Chris Anderson.
Yeah, Anderson did all the talking in this fight, metaphorically.
Just about 60 seconds to go round three as Chris Anderson's been at his suffocating best in this sophomore slate. Likely going to be moving to 2-0 as a pro. Both of those performances here inside the Masonic Temple. Surgical so far, Jason.
Yeah, very surgical. And Chris is landing shots while he's down. It's not like he's just laying on top of him and controlling. He's doing damage while he's on top. So credit to Chris Anderson for staying active and punishing Goodwin.
Yeah, very impressed by him not ever losing control necessarily in this, but being able to land those elbows. He hasn't been in danger hardly at all.
For his next fight, I'll be certainly tallying up the control time, have that stat for you in the next broadcast, but likely north of 10 minutes through 15.
Probably about 14 and a half minutes.
14 minutes, 45 seconds.
Is that your over-under on it? I'll let you know as Chris Anderson closes out his second professional fight, hands up in the air, big embrace, lots of approval out of Agima and 4-7. Chris Anderson comes over to the broadcast booth, said, "Did I earn my spot back at 125 pounds?" He showed it. Weight disadvantage didn't seem like it in there.
It did not seem like there was any disadvantage.
Ethan Goodwin back to the drawing board after 13 months away, just fell a little bit flat in there tonight.
Yeah, he came out and was throwing very, very straight punches, but Anderson head movement just was really good, really active with his feet, was able to close the distance at will.
And when speaking to people over at Extreme Couture, they claim Ethan Goodwin is one of the toughest guys in the room when those lights are brightest. Wasn't necessarily the case here tonight as Chris Anderson steamrolls his way through the second fight. Scorecards making their way over to Jackson Hoops as he's kneeled over by the commission. Got to get them printed out. But Chris Anderson looks like he wants to go back down 10 pounds. Might look good on him.
Well, you know, sometimes being the toughest guy in the training room does not translate to being the toughest guy when the lights are on you.
Disappointment on his side. Tyler Tomlinson ready to get this one officially finished up. Anderson trying to get his glove off. Out of frame right now as we wait for him. Back in staged. Let's go to Jackson.
Fierce fans, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. All three judges score this contest 30-26, declaring the winner by unanimous decision, Chris Anderson!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here with your winner, Chris Anderson. Chris, dominant performance tonight. I heard you talking a little bit, saying, have you earned your spot back at 125? What was that all about?
They just can't find me anybody that can make 25. So if you're a professional, you watch Fierce, you follow Fierce, you message with Cody and Zach, and you're 125 pounds, then come to Utah. Or if you live in Utah, come find me at 125. I got to come up a weight class for my last fight and for this fight, and still I'm undefeated. So, I mean, give me someone at my weight, and then let's run it again.
Well, after a performance like that, I don't know if anybody's going to want to fight you. You seem to get better and better with every performance, man. Every performance. When are we going to see you back in the cage?
I've got the best team in Utah. I train with the best flyweights, the best bantamweights. You already saw Brendan come out and dominate. You've got Dante as the champ. You've got Aiden. We've got David that fought as well. We've got all these guys in our weight class that are just pushing the pace on each other at practice. Like I said, I've got the best damn team in Utah, and arguably in a lot farther region than that. So, yeah, it's pretty simple. We get better because we train hard and we train right. We've got the best coaches. I've got Dane, I've got Rad, I've got Seth, we've got Court, we've got all these other coaches that are top level guys, and we just push each other, so that's why.
Anybody you want to give a shout out to tonight?
Yeah, gosh, I'll probably forget some, but I want to thank, where are you? That beautiful girl right there, pushing me through weight camps, pushing me through cutting and through all the practices when I'm hurt. About a week ago, we actually almost pulled out of this fight. I had an injury that I suffered at another gym, and it's still kind of hurting at this point, but we just decided we'd stick it out and just make the most of it, win or lose. We'd already gone through camp, so came out here to just perform. Ended up getting warm enough that it wasn't a big issue. But thanks to my team for that. I want to thank Accelerated Athletics. If you guys are in need of gear, message them. Everything from gloves to shorts to anything you can think of combat related. Yeah, I just want to thank all my support, all my friends, all my family that come out to support me. Again, all my teammates, I couldn't do it without all those guys. So yeah, there's a lot of people to thank. So I'll shoot you guys a text or something, because there's a ton of people that are involved with making this happen. I want to thank the promotion and all the sponsors that are also involved with this for making this happen as well. Getting a sick venue like this, it's so cool to fight here in a place like this. So thanks so much. Also, we've got awesome guys coming up next.
Give it up for your winner, still undefeated, Chris Anderson.
Hi, I'm Jason Laporte, Fierce Fighting Championship commentator and general sales manager at Performance Honda in Bountiful. We are the fastest growing Honda dealership in the state, and we have one of the largest certified pre-owned inventories in the state of Utah. Our service department has master technicians with over 100 years experience collectively.
Bienvenidos a Performance Honda Bountiful, donde los atendemos en español y les ponemos una sonrisa todos los días.
Visit us at 2215 South 500 West or performancehondabountiful.com.
Chris Anderson comes away with a dominant decision win, a 30-26 across the board, Jason. Very interesting.
Just dominant performance. He didn't let up. He landed damaging shots. It wasn't just control. He was landing damaging shots. So, I can see it. Eric, your thoughts?
He punished with the elbows. He controlled, dominated the positioning in every position. You know, we had a couple of submission scares, but he was super composed. He stacked him. He kept his pressure where he needed to. He was easily able to escape him when the time was right.
Yeah, didn't want to disclose this across the broadcast, but did have a pretty substantial knee injury just a few days ago. It was likely that this was going to be pulled off, but Chris Anderson trudged through. I wasn't even going to text him about it because I didn't want him to think that I was vying on it or hearing anything, but nonetheless, able to get it done, and he is now 2-0. For all those at home that were looking forward to Thiago Angelon and Teague Vigil, that fight, unfortunately, has been canceled. It was a late cancellation just a few hours before the show. We'll give you a little bit more context, but before that, let's go to Jackson.
Fierce fans, our next fight of the evening was sponsored by Prime Labs. If you or anyone you know needs blood work for any reason at all, they provide various panels with affordable pricing that can't be beat at Prime Labs. Fierce fans, this fight was supposed to be on, but it has been canceled as Thiago Angelon has not been able to make the walk. But we do have one fighter that is going to make the walk. We're going to play his music as well, but we're going to introduce him properly. Introducing the first fighter, walking out of the blue corner, holding a professional record of 1 win and 4 losses. He stands 5 feet 6 inches tall and weighed in at 144.5 pounds. Fighting out of the Vigilante Academy and One Hit MMA, hailing from Roy, Utah. Fierce fans, make some noise for Teague, the Vigilante.
Sorry about that, little technical difficulties there. Teague, I know you're excited to fight tonight. I know this is a little bit of blow, man. Talk to me a little bit about the camp and your preparation tonight. Maybe give a quick shout out to your fans.
I mean, I have truly the best camp in the world, best team in the world. One Hit MMA has welcomed us into the family. The guys over at Latrano CrossFit really helped prepare us to really get in here and put a performance on for the fans. And at the end of the day, I mean, we put our health on the line. We really go hard to make sure we can give the fans what they're looking for and what they want. And I just want to give my sincerest apologies that we controlled everything we could control to be able to get in here and give you guys the performance you guys deserve. But unfortunately, situations happened to where we weren't able to do that tonight. I don't view any work as negative work, so I only was able to get better from this camp and glean good things from it. So I'm looking forward to getting that next bout booked and being able to put a performance on for you guys and really make it happen so you guys can see what we're all about over at One Hit MMA. Thank you.
Let's give it up for Teague Vigil, everyone.
So for those who want to know a little bit more to the story, earlier today at 5:15, we got a text message that Thiago Angelon was sick and unable to make the walk. We find that out so shortly before the doors open, Eric. Fights canceled, fresh off a full camp, something that no one likes to see.
Yeah, I'm kind of speechless. The Thiago had missed weight, so he misses weight. Teague still agrees to fight him, and then he just backs out. I have a hard time thinking it was illness related.
Yeah, I'm not a fighter, so I'm gonna leave my opinions to myself. But yeah, I don't know what was going on through his head. But as Eric said, you got a fighter that misses weight and then is sick the next day. That does raise some red flags. But I'll let the fighter do the talking on that one.
Well, I was backstage with Mike right before he fights, and he says, I'm having those thoughts, why am I doing this? And I said, you know why you do this? Because you signed the contract that you said you would. And that's being a man. And that's the difference, right? That's the difference.
Teague Vigil was looking to go back-to-back for the first time in his career. He was honored by a 2023 Comeback of the Year award and was calling this the comeback of a lifetime. We will postpone that for a future date. Hope to see him soon. So sorry for that fight cancellation. We'll keep things going to the co-main event. Alongside Alden Ashcraft and Josiah Simpson is Jackson Hopes.
Fierce fans, our co-main event of the evening is sponsored by Right Move Utah. If you are in the market to buy or sell a home, give Right Move Utah a call and visit rightmoveutah.com. Making the right move, Right Move Utah. Fierce fans, make some noise and welcome Josiah Simpson and then Alden Ashcraft to the cage.
Already a second walk within 2025 for Josiah Simpson. Eric, an established name who might be new to a lot of Fierce fans.
Yeah, excited to have him showcase his skills for us here locally, for us in Utah. he comes from a good camp. I don't know a lot about him personally, but I'm excited to see him work. He's heralded as a real stand-up guy.
Always a fan-friendly approach as well, Jason. All 5 pro walks have closed inside 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, this guy's a killer, man. He's 3-2, and do I see him rocking some USMC shorts there?
Looks as though unable to see it on the screen, but speaking a little bit more about Josiah Simpson out of Empire MMA and Fusion MMA, his fierce debut tonight, he has 14 total fights between his 7-2 amateur career and his 3-2 professional record.
Yeah, it looks like he's been really busy. He had a 2-month turnaround, and when you're on a roll, you're on a roll.
He won a one-sided affair with Jesse Salmon back in St. George in February. 2 weeks later, he was here at the Masonic Temple facing opposite Alden in that cage. Jason, you were in there for it.
Yeah, he was ready to go. We did a quick little face-off in there. Both guys don't like to speak too much. They're going to let their fists do the talking here in a couple of minutes.
8 consecutive fights, including his amateur days, have been finished in the first round. Again, a fan-friendly style by Josiah Simpson out of Southern Utah.
They forgot his mouthpiece.
Very interesting. Never seen that before. Brand new on the bingo card as he awaits to enter the cage.
Just got a little chuckle from Ace that nodded his head. Yeah, they forgot his mouthpiece.
Let me ask you this, Eric. True or false, Alden Ashcraft versus Josiah Simpson, waiting to step inside, is your fight of the night?
It definitely could be. Josiah being an early stopper, I've trained with Alden. Alden has a lot of pressure, really clean striker. Very intense. Alden's very intense.
Yeah, this is, I'm still waiting to see when we're going to get the mouthpiece here. Sorry. I'm like, well, are we going to get a mouthpiece here tonight?
Never seen that before. We'll go over to another one, talk a little bit about the main event between Kent Mafileo and AJ Perez. One full round between those two. Jason, really quickly.
Yeah, this is going to be really interesting. You got a 4-0 AJ Perez coming in here trying to make a statement against Utah's own Kent Mafileo.
Got a good one on hand, but first we have our appetizer in this co-main event, Josiah Simpson, to wait for Alden Ashcraft. What a shot that is. 2.5 years too long. Happy to have him back once again is Alden Ashcraft. Jason, it's been some time, but a guy who with a steady schedule could become one of the biggest names in the state.
He's got all the tools in the toolbox, does Alden Ashcraft, and he looks ready tonight. He came out, no shorts, no shirt. He's ready to go.
Similar to Josiah Simpson, both of his wins have come by first round finish, crushing power possessed by Ashcraft.
Yeah, Alden hits hard. I've sparred with him. He moves well, hits hard. Like I said, he's got a lot of intensity. He's from a great camp. I know that he's coming off of a knee injury that he had repaired, but leading all the way up to the knee injury, he was still in the gym, and then as soon as he was healed, he was right back.
Jason, first walk in over 2 years, the longest layoff of his career. Talking a little bit about what Eric just said, but a staple of MMA training rooms all over the state.
Yeah, he's been all over the place. And like I said, this guy's got all the tools to be one of the top Utah pros.
Got a crowd-pleasing catchweight bout. Ashcraft, the younger man, at 30. He will also be the taller of the two at 6'3". Pound and a half heavier was Simpson at 179.5 pounds. 2-1 lies with Ashcraft, 3-2 for Simpson. All right, cue cards in hand. Let's jump to Jackson.
Fierce fans, this fight is sponsored by Right Move Utah. This fight is a professional 180-pound catchweight bout scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. And when the fight begins, the referee in charge will be Tyler Tomlinson. Introducing the first fighter, fighting out of the blue corner, holding a professional record of 3 wins and 2 losses. He stands 6 feet 2 inches tall and weighing at 179.5 pounds. Fighting out of Empire MMA and Fusion MMA and Jiu-Jitsu, hailing from Cedar City, Utah, by way of Parowan, Utah. Fierce fans, make some noise for Josiah Simpson. on, introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, holding a professional record of 2 wins and 1 loss. He stands 6 feet 3 inches tall and weighing at 178 pounds, fighting out of Akima Jiu-Jitsu and MMA, hailing from Springvale, Utah. Fierce fans, make some noise for Alden Ashcraft!
First time in a long time for Alden Ashcraft trading in the red shorts. Josiah Simpson awaits in the blue trunks. This 180-pound catchweight bout is brought to you by none other than Right Move Utah. With all listings from all agents, there's no need to look anywhere else for your next home. Right Move Utah, an official sponsor of Fierce FC. Co-main event slated here. 3 5-minute rounds. Big one at 180 pounds.
Simpson taking the center of the cage right away.
I feel like I'm holding my breath. One of these
Everybody
guys is going to
got
explode.
quiet. Yeah, everybody got.
Both move so fluidly, pack so much power behind every strike. Pins and needles, Jason.
Yeah, pins and needles. It was just quiet. Nice check.
Fast jabs.
Nice movement by Ashcraft to get out of the way and counter back with his own.
That was a good slip of the kick, and then he landed a clean jab.
Simpson switching stances there.
Piercing high kick lands as it echoes through the Masonic Temple. Gets the crowd pleasing oohs and ahs as Josiah Simpson gives one back.
They're both landing some heavy leg kicks here.
Big time overhand right. Simpson stays standing.
Yeah, he took that right on the ear too and didn't look phased.
Simpson been knocked out once as a professional back in 2022. Again, all of Ashcraft's wins have been by KO or TKO. Masking the combinations well right now is Ashcraft, Jason.
Yeah, very, very calculated. He keeps looking for that overhand right. Josiah's moving beautifully. Now just Simpson looking for a takedown.
That was a beautiful sidestep out of that, and then it went right to the underhook and picked him right back up. Really fluid movement,
Nice
especially
way.
for a guy that's been out of the gym for a couple of years.
Nice way to weather the storm.
Not out of the gym, out of the cage, excuse me.
Nice up kick coming in with Ashcraft.
Another couple of clean strikes land up top. Ashcraft starting to find a home.
Really good footwork.
Solid escape by Ashcraft. Back to the standing exchange as we go. A little bit of blood now leaking from the left side of Josiah Simpson's face.
Yeah, there's a pretty good cut on that cheek.
In the phone booth are the two. Ashcraft on the back foot. Josiah Simpson pressing forward. Massive blow down the pipe lands for the Agima fighter.
Alden is throwing with bad intentions.
Jason, he looks good for 2.5 years
He
away.
looks crisp tonight. I mean, Simpson's putting a lot of pressure on him, and he's very calculated. He's moving side to side, and he's landing hard shots on Simpson, who's got him busted up. A nice 1-2 right down the middle.
Crushing.
That cut's getting worse and worse.
Crushing blow lands.
And Ashcraft's got a little mouse over his right eye, too, but right now,
Ashcraft's throwing hard shots. Everything is just with malice.
Heat on another hammer. Simpson still upright, Jason. I don't know how he's doing it.
yeah, Ashcraft's landing some shots, and the corner has been calling for that right hand since the beginning of the round. They must see something in Simpson.
if I'm Josiah, I think I'm going to step back, circle, make sure I have my wits about me.
Yeah, right now Ostrow's just letting him come in, and he keeps countering him.
I think Ashcraft feels like he's got his timing.
Got a wise smile by Ashcraft. Not sure if something was said inside the cage, but I think you're right, Eric. Thinks he might have this one figured out as he puts together another clean combination.
You see Ashcraft's confidence just building as this round goes on.
Well, and Josiah landed a good shot there. Ashcraft just took it on the chin and returned with 2 hard ones.
It was a hard shot by Ashcraft.
Going blow for blow, Josiah Simpson threw a couple nice strikes as Ashcraft now up against the cage.
Well, I don't know that I'd call him on.
Simpson is a dog.
He's tough.
Great to have Tyler Tomlinson in there. Those guys would have kept going.
Yeah, this round wouldn't have been over if it wasn't for Tyler Tomlinson being in there. Simpson is he took a lot of shots, but he is in this fight. I'm telling you right now, he's in this fight.
I'm not sure if it hit the screen, but Eric, you're right. Josiah Simpson was goading him on.
Cut your angles. I need better countering. I need to breathe right now. Get some water, baby. Get some water.
Don't rush that kick. Your hands are beautiful.
And you rocked it. You know what I mean?
Your left, because that's going right into his right punch.
Yes, don't circle to his power.
It's right there.
And I want it more straighter, okay?
You rocked him, Eric. That's what Steve Urkel is saying. Also staying away from that power hand.
I don't feel that way. He landed some really clean shots, but to me it looked like Ashcraft just was able to weather him and return really hard. I do like what they were telling him. Let's get the footwork going, hit a little more angles, and get to the hands because he is landing.
Maybe not rocked him, but he got his attention at the end of that round. Those shots got Ashcraft's attention.
Well, and he threw a lot of them. That's when Ashcraft kind of planted his feet and stayed against the cage. I'd like to see Ashcraft get back to his footwork here.
Nice bite back by Ashcraft to open up the striking in this round.
Simpson has a little tell when he's getting ready to charge forward. His mouth moves a little bit, I've noticed. And I think Marco caught onto it because he said he's going to go, he's going to go.
High-level chess match right now. Simpson lands the kick. Alden eats it.
Good head movement.
How Simpson is eating those shots. Those are big shots by Ashcraft.
Well, and that was the footwork I was talking about earlier. Ashcraft stepped to the side and came right back with that cross.
And Eric, how is this, as a fighter, when you're landing these shots and the other guy just keeps coming forward? What is that like for a fighter?
Well, you start to wonder. You start second guessing your power a little bit because especially when you're dominant in the training room like I've seen Alden be. But Alden's being really patient here. He's letting him come forward. And hats off to Simpson. He's a dog. He just keeps coming forward, keeps coming forward.
First time in a second round for both parties here tonight. Alden Ashcraft, such a successful first round. Josiah Simpson still in this fight.
Yeah, now he's got Ashcraft isn't moving as much anymore. He's breathing a little heavy.
Yeah, he's settled him down.
Had that 2-year layoff. Still dangerous though. I mean,
good thing that hook missed. That was good head movement by Simpson to avoid that because that one would scalp you.
Simpson might have bloodied up Ashcraft there in the nose.
Yeah. The one thing I'd like to see Simpson is that he's kind of just throwing 1, 1, 2, 1. He's obviously not worried about his conditioning. I'd like to see him come in and put some combinations together. If he's going to walk him down, throw more than one.
Nice leg kick lands for Simpson. Ashcraft offline again.
Simpson is just marching forward. I don't think he's taking many steps back in this fight.
Good head movement after that kick. Ashcraft's bleeding pretty badly now.
He broke his nose.
And that's no fun.
I mean, like you said, I feel like Ashcraft is kind of like, what more do I got to hit this guy with?
Lots of blood populating through those nostrils up. Ashcraft, Josiah Simpson lands a couple of good ones there.
It looks like Simpson's got Ashcraft's timing now too, because he slipped a lot of these.
Yeah, he shakes off and said, no, that's not hurting. Nice jab by Simpson. That was a stiff jab. I think he's got Ashcraft on his heels right now. I feel like it's shifting a little bit.
Ashcraft's mouth is wide open.
I think his nose is broke.
It is. It's got to be.
And that jab that he landed about 30 seconds ago, Simpson landed, did even more damage.
Tides seem to be turning. Alden Ashcraft, a couple of nice strikes, but Simpson, the aggressor, late round 2.
Nice kick by Simpson. He turns all the way and escapes it when Ashcraft tries to catch it. A lot of that real hard heat is out of Ashcraft right now. I'm not seeing him throw those punches with that same intensity.
This is that pressure from Simpson. He's just nonstop pressure since the first round. And now he's popping down. We just got blood all over us.
Ashcraft's a mess.
Masked in blood right now, all thanks to a beautiful round 2 by Josiah Simpson. A red broadcast booth as Simpson now seems to be rolling downhill.
Simpson, as Eric said, I think he's got the timing down of Ashcraft now, and he's just putting all the pressure.
And we're seeing him put these combinations together.
And a little shove from Simpson. He thinks he's got this fight in the bag right now.
Hats off to Simpson. He that pressure.
Headed over to the corner of Ashcraft. Got an uphill battle to climb. We'll go to the Agima corner.
That's why I can't fucking block these shots. I can't see out of my left fucking eye. Tell you right now, you want to keep fighting? No, I need to stop it. I can't fucking see. I'm gonna get fucking slept because I can't see. Fuck. Stand up like you want it right now. I can't fucking see anything, bro.
Some interesting stuff. Vision might be impaired right now, Eric.
So where's Tyler?
Tyler is right over here at his corner, I believe. We're over in the corner of Josiah Simpson. If we could switch that over immediately.
I think this fight it's over.
I think it's done.
It's over.
Josiah Simpson flips the script. A beautiful second round showing is going to put him on top and move to 4-2.
Boogeyman who? Boogeyman who?
Relentless pressure.
A comeback of all comebacks. Eric, one of the best we've ever seen here in the history of Fierce Fighting Championship.
You know, I thought Ashcraft was running away with it a little bit in the first. Simpson came down in the second and just walked him down. He knew how tough he was.
Not only was he winning, he was dominating. Absolutely dominating that first round. And Josiah Simpson stayed the course. A granite chin in pair helps him get the biggest win of his career.
Grit. That's grit and toughness. That got him through to a point where he could start using his skill. Like we were talking about, he started putting combinations together. Fantastic job by Simpson.
I apologize for a little bit more colorful with the opinions, but now that it's closed out, Josiah Simpson just so impressed with that performance. We heard it in the corner with our beautiful microphones presented by our friends over at Pat's Media, but we're going to go ahead and make this one official. Send it back inside to Jackson Hopes.
Fierce fans, referee Tyler Tomlinson has called a stop to this contest at the end of the second round, declaring the winner by TKO due to a corner stoppage, Josiah Simpson!
gentlemen, I'm here with your winner, Josiah Simpson. Josiah, that was a beautiful fight, man. That first round, he hit you with some good, clean shots, but you just kept coming. How you feeling tonight, man?
Hey, who's the Utah boogeyman now, huh? Listen, I'm from a small gym in southern Utah, Empire MMA in Cedar City. I got my extended family over at Fusion. I love you guys. Thank you so much for all the help getting ready for this one. But this fight was really important to me because, 15 fights between amateur and pro, and I've never fought in Utah until tonight. And I wanted to get some respect from the gyms up north. If you didn't know my name before, you sure as shit do now. I am that motherfucker, and I have been for a long ass fucking time. I've been busy whipping ass on the road, but now I'm home in Utah, and I want to know where the real middleweight's at, huh? Where you at? Give me somebody in here who can make 185. Let's make it happen, Fierce. Let's go.
I love it. You made a name for yourself. Give it up for your winner, Josiah Simpson.
Big show field backed by belts on the line, live from the Maverick Center in West Valley, Utah. This is Fierce Fighting Championship.
The pop when you come out here is so loud and it is so electric.
Out cold!
This is your house.
That right hand was nuclear.
He's got that violent look on his face that I always love to see.
He makes his mark at the Maverick Center
to prop up the Utah MMA scene.
Scan the QR code on your screen right now for access to Fierce FC's digital program. Get the inside scoop on every fighter making the walk tonight, as well as additional information on future shows. Got to get the ad read in, but fellas, what a way to cut the promo.
And I got confirmation, Semper Fi, Josiah Simpson is a United States Marine. Semper Fi, brother.
That was so impressive.
I'm speechless. I was speechless about Derek Jorgensen, more so right now about the co-main event.
I mean, he was calculated, and as Eric was saying, that pressure made the difference in that fight. He just kept coming forward.
He kept walking forward, and I heard his corner tell him, hit some angles there. He didn't care about that. He just kept walking him down.
18 down, 2 remain in our main event. The 2 men on the marquee, Kent Mafileo and AJ Perez. Let's go ahead and bring them out.
Our main event of the evening is sponsored by R&R Barbecue. With their savory menu and catering options, their recipes, spice rubs, barbecue sauces, and smoking techniques will leave you full with every meal at R&R Barbecue. Fierce fans, make some noise and welcome our final 2 fighters, AJ Perez and then Kent Mafileo to the cage.
Perfect as a pro up to this point is Fresno's AJ Perez. Eric, 4-0 on the road with an older opponent waiting for him in the wings, could play antagonist for this Salt Lake crowd.
Yeah, 4-0. He's perfect as a professional. He had a couple of losses that looked like a submission, I believe, in the decision, but he had a pretty extensive amateur background, so he's got a history of this and a background. This isn't new to him necessarily.
Yeah, 6-1 amateur career from 2018 to 2022. His only loss was way back in December of 2018 in a unanimous decision against Andres Mesa. It was his second amateur fight. But Jason, his first fight outside of his home state of California, Salt Lake City, always has the storyline of elevation. We'll see if it plays into a factor for this one.
Yeah, we're going to see if it plays in. AJ Perez, 4-0. He's coming in. He's got a big backing. He's got a huge following coming out of Northern California. We're going to see if he's ready for the step up in competition tonight when he faces Kent.
Out of Fresno, California, and as a California native myself, I believe it's more southern central.
Is it more
region?
southern? It's kind of what I thought, but I kept hearing somebody say northern, so I just kind of went with it.
It's central. I think Fresno's probably negative elevation. It might be underwater.
Well, he looked back in full form in December as now another title shot pens for Kent Mafileo. Jason, an all-time Utah great who has lit up this cage more than any other fighter in Fierce FC history.
He's the guy. This is his house, man. Kent Mafileo. I've been watching this guy since the amateur ranks. I've watched him improve in his career. I love watching Kent fight, and he's got the look in his eye again tonight.
Eric's 6th Mafileo main event in the span of 2.5 years, the most main events in Fierce FC history. If you're keeping track at home, Mike Jones has 5, Nate Kearsley has 4, Bobby King has 3, but he has become the man on the marquee.
He is the man. You've seen his career grow and his skill set improve. You know, he's with a great gym. He trains with Marco, whom I've trained with both of them, sparred with them quite a bit. And Kent's very tough, very gritty, and hits hard.
Final tale of the tape brought to you by R&R Barbecue. A decade divides these two. Perez the younger at 28, the 4-inch height advantage heads way of Mafileo at 6'2". Kent weighed in at 265, slightly smaller as the Fresno fighter at 260. Unbeaten at 4-0 for Perez, a little longer in the tooth as Mafileo at 8-2. All right, back in to set the stage. Here's Hoops.
Fierce fans, this is your main event. This fight is sponsored by R&R Barbecue. This fight is a professional heavyweight bout scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. And when the fight begins, the referee in charge will be Tyler Tomlinson. Now, one more time, I need everybody tuning into the pay-per-view and everybody here inside the sold-out, iconic Masonic Temple in Salt Lake City, Utah. From the upper seats to the lower seats to the VIP seats, all the way down to cage side. Put your hands together and make some noise! Introducing the first fighter fighting out of the blue corner, holding an undefeated professional record of 4 wins and 0 losses. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall and weighing at 260 pounds. Fighting out of Concrete Jungle MMA, hailing from Fresno, California. Fierce fans, make some noise for AJ Perez. And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, holding a professional record of 8 wins and 2 losses. He stands 6 feet 2 inches tall and weighed in at 265 pounds. Fighting out of Rise Boxing, Classic Fight Team, and Akima Jiu-Jitsu and MMA, hailing from Salt Lake City, Utah. Fierce fans, make some noise for the former heavyweight champion, Kent Mafileo.
All right, it's a pro fight, main event, okay? Listen, obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Do not hit each other in the back of the head. Keep it clean. If you guys have any questions, touch gloves if you want, back up.
Heavy hitters atop the card. Kent Mafileo rocks the red gloves. AJ Perez counters in the blue gloves. This heavyweight bout is brought to you by R&R Barbecue, 9-time Utah's best barbecue team and still the best to ever hit you in the lips. R&R Barbecue, an official sponsor of Fierce FC.
That was an intense stare down by both guys. I don't think either of them blinked.
Mafileo takes control of the center of the cage. Perez always been a calculated striker and grappler, not so much a brawler. Nice chiming leg kick lands for Perez as he steps inside.
Curious to see how Kent will handle fighting a shorter opponent like this. Usually he's fighting a lot bigger guys, taller.
Reminiscent of his fight last April at the UCCU Center.
Perez throwing bombs.
Big shots land as another weighty leg kick lands for the California fighter. Mafileo trying to get those reads, punishes over the top with it.
Perez backed up, reset, checking the timing. Hands are high. Kent's working a lot of feints, and it looks like he's doing a really good job of controlling the distance. He's keeping him at the end of his jab.
Off the back foot, Mafileo looks to land as Perez, lightning fast on the inside, trying to get Mafileo down to the mat. Mafileo inches his way inside to try to get some movement from Perez.
Lexi can't get his legs wide here. Perez kind of abandoned the legs, though, went back up to a body lock.
Perez holds the upper hand in the grappling gap between these two. 3 minutes and 55 seconds of control time. His last time out accounted for 67% of the bout versus Joshua Miranda. Able to land that one as Mafileo finds himself on bottom. Punishing pressure by Perez.
I'd like to see Kent pop his hips up and turn towards him right here. Just like that.
Able to get back up. Mafileo lands a big-time knee and now some elbows as well.
Big elbows from Kent. Those hurt him.
Elbows hurt him. Perez is looking a little unsteady.
Yeah, that 1-2 hurt him. Oh, he's hurt.
Mafileo with 7 first-round knockout victories in his career. Goes to the body, but backed up is Perez.
I don't think Perez is still.
Massive weighty shot lands.
Nice knee on the entrance.
Perez gonna have to keep those hands high. He's dangerous though. He's still dangerous.
He's still big. He's still got power.
Oh, those knees to the body are just brutal from Mafileo.
Perez trying to get back into the grappling. Those elbows.
Back into the elbows that hurt him.
Perez now dropped down to one knee, able to get back up. But Mafileo all over the place, plastering pressure and a chaotic close. Kent Mafileo, another main event win.
I love the patience.
Kent Mafileo gives AJ Perez his first loss as a professional. What a way to come back. Perez was posing a lot of grappling there. He was able to turn it around.
Yeah, he did a great job of.
He wants his baby. He wants his daughter.
Kent Mafileo getting the job done. AJ Perez, happy to see him back up on his feet. Weighty, heavy blows just started to add up. But AJ Perez, all is legit as they say out in California. A bright future for him as well, Eric.
Yeah, you know, he did some great things there. Was able to pin Kent against the cage. Worked the takedown. Kent stayed composed, showed he's a veteran, got back to his feet. The elbows really hurt him. He was patient instead of running in, trying to get the kill too soon. Very impressive win.
Kent Mafileo going to move to 9-2, one of the biggest of his resume, as it seems as though he's punched his ticket to potentially another title fight opposite Jared Vanderaa. Final time tonight, we're going to make it official. To the man in the blue suit is Jackson Hopes.
Fierce fans, referee Tyler Tomlinson has called a stop to this contest at 3 minutes and 45 seconds of the very first round, declaring the winner by TKO, Kent Mafileo!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with your winner, Kent. Kent, I heard you say it. This is your temple, man. Talk to me.
This is my temple, baby. I'm 38 years old, but anybody want to come step to me? I don't give a fuck if you're 18 years old. Come and get some, baby.
Was there anything in that first round that threw you off? He came in, looked like he was trying to be grappler heavy, threw some big shots. Was there anything that threw you off?
No, it's a fight. It can go anywhere. I'm trained to do anything. He took me down. You see, I get right back up. Punches don't faze me, bro. I'm built tough for this shit.
What's next for you, man? Are we gonna see you back in the cage?
What's next is this bigger fights, bigger money, bigger payday. I'm a prize fighter. I'm here to get paid. I'm here to knock motherfuckers out and entertain people. So pay me, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the winner, Kent Mafileo. Oh, let me give a shout out to the sponsors.
Sponsors real quick. 287 Diesel Services and Towing. Much love. Rest Recovery Wellness out of Bountiful. Elite Smoking Vape. Vulgar Junk Removal. My brother's company, TJ Construction. Extreme Demolition. Lambert. Insurance Services. Agema Rise Classic. We in here, baby.
Congratulations once again. Give it up. Oh, one more. Bountiful Nutrition, right?
I just want to say happy birthday to my homeboy's son, PB's son. His name's E. He's 16. Happy birthday, bro.
Give it up for your winner, Kent Mafileo.
9 shows since a Utah fighter has bested an out-of-state talent in our main event. Who other than Kent Mafileo to stamp his shot to a title, as we welcome you to the Fierce Fighting Championship 40 post-fight show presented by our replay sponsor as well, R&R Barbecue. Eric, break down this beautiful finish by the Salt Lake fighter.
Right there, he did a great job in the clinch, grabbed him by the neck, turned him, was working layers on his punches, coming uppercut, and then just set those hard shots up.
A beautiful finish by him. He was fired up in there, Jason.
Yeah, he was fired up. I haven't seen Kent like that in a long time. I think he could have won another couple rounds.
An unbelievable win by him to move to 9-2 as we wrap up our 4th show of the year. But we'll keep the ball rolling with an unprecedented event live from the Masonic Temple, May 16th and 17th, fellas. 2 days, 3 shows, and a whole lot of fun in conjunction with our friends over at Legends Boxing.
Yeah, that's a pretty stacked card. I didn't even realize we were doing two nights in a row. That's a packed card, man.
Did you not know about this?
No, I did not know.
Eric, did you know about it?
I'd heard that they were going to do some boxing. I didn't realize it was back to back.
So it'll be a 2-day event. Friday night, we will have Fierce Fighting Championship 41, your typical MMA show. Fierce Challenger Series 14 will be exclusively a kickboxing show on Saturday afternoon, followed by Executive Fight Night presented by the aforementioned Legends Boxing. Executive Fight Night, an interesting one. They take guys specifically who haven't had fights. They put them through a training
Hey, if you guys found that gold wedding ring, I don't need it quite yet, but we do
Yeah, I
need
think it's pretty awesome. Actually, one of our sponsors, JC Pro Design, Justin, I know very well, actually did that on the last fight card. So I think it's amazing that guys are doing that.
Eric, Anthony Castro versus Levon Lewis, Logan Taylor alongside Darian Orvin. Amateur heavyweight title back up for grabs between Lauren Sua and Chris Falau. A weekend full of fun fights.
That is a stacked weekend. If you are a fight fan, how do you even blink? That's amazing.
Jason, your thoughts on some of those names?
Yeah, that's a stacked card. Logan Taylor, Darian Orvin, I'm really excited about that fight. Anthony Castro is another name that I've been waiting to see back in the Fierce cage. So, yeah, stacked card, stacked night, stacked couple nights of fights.
We'll kick it back up to the wide shot. Tickets on sale next Friday at FierceFightingChampionship.com. That'll close the show for us here. For our technical director, Jordan Buscarini, our graphics coordinator, Ryan Piccolo, and all of us here at Fierce Fighting Championship and Pats Media. Final time tonight, he's Jason Laporte, he's Eric Iman, I'm Blake O'Rulian saying so long from Salt Lake City.